All right.
Hopefully, our good friends at Google will allow us to have this episode. Buttons going. I'm waiting for stream health. And
That's Stadia beef right now.
Stadia, man.
You might want to retweet it too.
Yeah, I'm gonna retweet as soon as I see that button. You know what I'm saying? So we see what's going on.
Testing.
How we sounding out here, yo? Sound.
Hello. Yeah, we sound fine. We sound fine.
Cool. All right, Addict. All right, chat. How we sounding, chat?
We sound fine.
Chat? All right. I'm gonna hit the tweet again though, just to let the lords know that we back. You know
well, I'm off this Gears pop. Let me turn my joint off.
So sorry about that, guys. Some technical difficulties.
Yeah, Echo Chamber Stadia. The Fugals was hating. They didn't want us to talk our talk today.
You know what it's gonna be. You know what it is.
Well, PlayStation can't hold us down. Okay.
My Lord.
No, I'm convinced PlayStation is sniping us from the little Eiffel Tower.
From the Eiffel Tower.
For the Eiffel. All right, hold on. Let me get the tweets out.
Herman's out there sniping us.
No, it's like Herman, man.
Oh man.
Really, Sean Layton didn't leave. He just went on attacking us all the time. He's still working for them. It's just he's on constant.
Right. He went dark.
And we are live again, 2.0. Welcome to the realm. You know what the deal is. Addict, you got your intro in. Lord of the Wolf.
Wow.
Lord, we got to go. We're 30 minutes late.
Let's go.
He's gonna rush mine. And then yours does your guys is like no.
Let's get my man's intro.
My co-host is the co-host. My brother from another mother, the difficult game conqueror, Lord of Reviews, and the how of the young wolf. My man. Lord Addy.
Doing pretty good. This is really I'm a week ahead. We the week after this now. But definitely doing pretty good. Like I said earlier. Mm-hmm. Oh, we already got a
Thank you, Tip Diamond, brother.
So appreciate that.
No, thank y'all for rocking, man.
Doing the Pokemon competitive, getting that Pokemon team together. Because that press start Discord sounded a little too cocky.
Yes, King, we know. No. Lord, we got to get this going, man. You good? Other than that, you good at it?
Yeah.
All right, and of course, our most technical gaming lord, the solo gamer who lives for the single-player selfish experience, and also the Sostradamus, Mr. Offline Profile Illuminati, and Lord Patreon of the Iron Bank, my man, Lord Sovereign. How you doing, sir?
Chilling. Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. What's going on? Listen, man, I've been chilling. I got to play a little more Plague Tale yesterday. Still a fantastic game. Getting through that, so that's great. Been playing. I don't know why, but I've been playing the show. I'm playing the show right now.
You've been playing MLB. Oh, I wonder why.
From what I hear, I'll be playing the show right along with
you.
Yes, you will.
It's too early.
Did that for you. Shout out to the Who Did That For You t-shirts that's inside the Teespring store right now. And if you are part of the Iron Lord's Join crew, check it out. I want y'all to put that Who Did That For You emoji up right now. Because Phil Dominus Maximus Spencer is
we get to that later.
We'll get to it.
And then I just read. Are we doing the Crown Your Lord right now?
Well, we don't have to do that right now.
Intro yet.
So we got intros. We got a whole show. We don't need to worry about
no,
Crown Your Lord right now.
We can do that before the first topic because I want to know how bad I lost. All right, because I know I lost. I just don't know how bad.
And besides that, I'm just ready to talk about sex.
Wow.
No doubt. And of course, I was gonna think about doing a new intro for you, like "Come, Your Highness, they're with you." The Mona Lisa joke. And of course, we have the incredible Hulk of this, aka the Excess Gamer.
Ooh.
The Lord of Combat Sports. King of the statues, who demands nothing less than that premium experience and is the leader of the Fraud Alert movement.
Sorry, man. I'm just so
he's so in the moment.
That's right, man.
We got the ooze.
Where the ooh at? Beloved Lord King, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing You know how I'm doing. You know what it is. Yo, shout out to Bud Crawford last night for a fight that nobody cared about, and Bob Arum keeps stuffing them in envelopes and mailing them out to crap. I mean, I'm so tired of Bud not getting exactly what Bud, deserves. Bud deserves to have these great fights with the Sean Porters, the Danny Garcias, of the PBC. He really needs to jump ship, and Bob Arum has told us that he has him lock, stock, and barrel. He even said that Bud Crawford, after he finished fighting, will still be owned by me. Now, I understand that sounds a little bit archaic.
Chat, sir. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you have a super
no problem.
Chat. Yeah,
what's that? Xbox X. The hype is real. Wow.
AKA, they're like, let's go to the main topic.
They ready to move on.
We're gonna drag this out. We're gonna get to this fight though. Listen, man.
Don't rush the king.
Bud is he's an extreme talent. Bud had a little moments in that fight because he's not fighting, he's not cherry picking, but he's not fighting the fights that you want to fight. You want to get these good fights, and I felt real sorry for Bud last night because Bud needs to be a pay-per-view star, and to get up for these whack fights. And I'm not saying the guy is whack. I'm just saying that the hype isn't there,
right?
And he needs definitely to have these signature fights in his prime. And he's in his prime. When it was time to take old boy out, he took him out. And he definitely did what he was supposed to do. And he's getting paid his amount of money, but he needs to be at superstar status level. He comes in shape all the time. Andy, Ruiz? Yeah, this guy comes in shape all the time. He gives 110%, and he's the epitome of a true champion. He can box southpaw, orthodox. That means left hand or right hand. The guy is a boxer puncher. He is a pure talent, and we're not going to get a chance to see him shine the way he is. I mean, because we're looking for Errol Spence to, bring this guy up by the bootstraps, and that's the only fight that Bob Arum will allow Bud to have, because Bud will probably lose to Porter, and he will have a terrible time fighting Danny Garcia. So I really don't understand what's going to happen next for this guy, but I'm rooting for him 110%. I know Sovereign got a chance to watch the fight. I wanted to know his view on the fight. And I know he watched the UFC that I didn't get a chance to watch last night.
Yeah, I mean, on Bud, honestly, I feel the same way. I think Bud, he needs to be put in a fight where he's going to be able to shine, because he is that type of talent. That said, shout out to, I forgot his opponent's name, but I mean, he was what he did was take it to Bud in a way that Bud was not expecting. Bud expected him to sort of attack him from the jump, and he didn't. He was calm, he was composed, he was boxing with him, and that sort of threw Bud off. And I think that's where, when you talk about Floyd, that's where Floyd's greatness lies. Floyd's ability to think on his feet and change up strategy in the middle of a fight is unparalleled. That is why he is the greatest, because Bud got touched yesterday in a way that I never thought I'd see Bud get touched. So that was interesting to me, but I do feel what King says. Like, he needs to be put in these fights where he needs to be making more money, and he needs to be put in these fights where he's going to be on a big platform.
Shout out to the 110 that's watching right now.
Man, look at King taking my shine from me. I was going to say that.
That's a beautiful thing. Thank you for rocking with us. But real quick, UFC 245, three main events. Main events. So let's go first with the Lioness.
Let me go get some Subway.
Oh my goodness. Hold on, let me get Clutch Man.
Don't get the Jared sandwich.
No doubt.
Why you gotta take it there?
Shout out to Clutch Man 01. New name. $2 super chat. The Series X Microsoft answer to Insomniac tweet. All right, so get that fight night in. What's going on?
So triple main event. Let's go first with the Lioness, Amanda Nunes, defending her title once again.
We'll get all the super chats after the combat talk.
After Jermaine Durandamy. Honestly, I was not a big fan of Durandamy because she ran away from Cyborg and she did not want to fight Cyborg. But she came back and she changed up her game a little bit. And I was glad to see that she got in there with Nunes. And to be honest, on the feet, you could tell that Nunes was a little bit outgunned. Durandamy boxing, her distance, her length. Her length was allowing her to touch Nunes in a way she had not been touched in quite some time. And Nunes did the smart thing.
Yeah, you definitely need to pause that.
Whoa,
I think I would have chose a different sentence than what you said.
You're not listening to Addict. Come on,
baby. He listening.
Anyway,
Moving along.
But Nunes did what I think Max Holloway should have done was go to grappling and take.
You know what?
I heard
what,
Max
Saul?
got pieced.
I still didn't hear you pause that. All right.
That nigga's waiting for that pause, bro.
So Nunes did the proper thing and took her down day and night as much as she could.
Wow.
Duran to me just does not have
takedown defense.
Not at all. Just all she has is defense on the. She doesn't have anything offensive on the ground.
So you mean her stand up was absolutely crazy, and she was able to, you know,
ground game. And you know what? Nunes exposed what she needed to expose, because otherwise on the feet it would have been a problem.
Wow.
It was a problem last night for Nunes. So she did the smart thing and she retained her title. Now on to Max Holloway for the featherweight championship against Alexander Volkanovski. Volkanovski is an absolute beast.
It sounds like a beast. Volkanovski.
And this is a small dude. He's not a big dude. And he went in there and honestly, he kind of beat Max pillar to post. And Max was in there. The boxing was good, but Volkanovski hit him with power. The leg kicks on both legs. Both of Max's legs were destroyed. Max was in there. The thing is, I think Max falls in love with his boxing to a fault. He could have tried to take Volkanovski down, and I think Volkanovski is a great ground fighter as well, so it would have been interesting. But Max was definitely getting beaten on the stand-up, and he should have tried to change it up, and he didn't. And he lost his title. And another thing, Max's corner, I don't like when you're not honest with your fighter.
They front. You got him, champ. You got him.
Yeah, it's like keep doing what you're doing. I'm like, no, you're losing.
Well, Sovereign, maybe they knew that if they told him to switch it up, he was gonna get knocked out. So they just wanted him, to get the participation trophy.
I guess, man. But in the last round, when there's 30 minutes left in the round and 30 seconds left in the round, and they're like, oh, he's hitting him with the jab. What does it matter if he's hitting him with the jab? If he's 30 seconds left in the round, he's losing.
He said he had the favor Flav corner, the hype man.
Wow.
So I didn't like the way that was kind of handled, but at the same time, Max is great. He'll be back. I know we're gonna run this fight back. And then of course the main event. The fight for the U.S. Kamaru Usman, the champion at welterweight, against the former, because he gave up his belt, interim welterweight champion Colby Covington.
So
what a fight!
Usman that's the one that came with the paint on his face?
Yes.
No.
Usman went to the weigh-in. Yeah, to the weigh-in.
Kamaru Usman, he came in after taking out Tyron Woodley. This is his first title defense.
Yeah. This is the dude that they was calling him by his government.
Yeah, they kept calling Marty fake news.
They kept calling him Marty.
What a fight! I mean, think what you will about Colby Covington, but the dude really does have the goods. And he came in there. It was a fantastic fight. I don't know what the scorecards look like.
What you had it?
Honestly, it was tight, and in that fifth round, until Usman knocked him down and finally finished him, I thought Covington was winning that round.
Wow! Now I heard Colby's jaw got broke.
Yeah, he popped him with a right that just snapped his jaw in two. Like it was, and he fought the last 2 rounds with a broken jaw.
Wow,
so shout out
that's
to Colby Covington. Again, think what you will about him, but
the magma out of him.
I'm gonna be honest. I think Colby has the goods to hold up to the villain mantra. I think more than Conor. I think Conor's more mouth than skill. True. Covington has it all.
But the only thing is Covington, his trash talking is cringy. It's very cringy.
His trash talking, he doesn't have. He doesn't have.
Don't got skill. Conor has skill, man. Just stop, man. Like the dude is
one-dimensional compared to Colby. Like
Colby,
but true.
Conor one dimension. It transcends.
It's crazy. That one dimension he got is crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. Shatter your dimension.
I miss Smitty Smith. Shout out to Smitty Smith with the $5 super chat. He said, "I just picked up a milk carton and I saw Chris Hart is missing. Maybe that Hellblade 2 cut him too deep. Come on,
yo, Smith." You might be on to something.
Shout out to Kamaru Usman for the 5th round TKO. Fantastic fight all the way around. Both fighters deserve a bending of the knee.
No doubt.
Oh, here it is.
So shout out to Def Singer. Oh, you already know our stream, brother. Shout out to Addict, who did not discriminate on his likes on Game Awards reactions. Watch the reaction to get the context. Also, King, bring the smoke. Yo, Saul, you want to get dizzy right quick?
Shout out. Hold on 1 second. Shout out to okay. Hold on. We got Dizzy. Okay. Shout out to Dizzy81 with the $2 super chat. Sunday isn't the same without.
Everybody wants
There is 140 people looking for Christopher Hart's head. Pause.
Right now.
And brother, let me tell you something. Run, duck, and hide, baby. Don't show your face.
Look. If you personally are looking for Christopher, I want some into the bushes in that chat right now. If you personally are looking for Christopher, we need some into the bushes in that chat.
Well, salute Christopher. I hope he
shout out to Dev Singer on the Game Awards stream for self-regulating his F-bombs.
Yes. He was classy. He was good. Shout out to Johan Zel Viejas, $2 super chat. So when can we start calling Phil Aurelius?
Okay, I told you it's a very stringent stipulation for him to be called Aurelius, and I honestly believe that he will achieve that Aurelius status in our lifetime, and in the next 2 years, maybe. To be honest with you, maybe at launch of the PlayStation 5.
Probably at launch of the PlayStation.
Now, I want people to be aware that him going to Aurelius is like equivalent to Goku going Super Saiyan 4.
Yes, what I'm talking about. What's that new? No. The instinct that when he turned blue.
Ultra Instinct.
That's Phil. That's Phil going to Ultra Instinct. Okay, this is. It can't be given.
That's such a great analogy because Jared's pretty much like unstoppable, and Goku goes Ultra Instinct and beats him at the end.
Yeah, and you have to understand. Once that Game Pass is on PlayStation, because it's already a foregone conclusion that Game Pass will be on that Switch in some form of capacity. But once we achieve Ultimate Instinct, Ultra Instinct, that's when you will get Aurelius. And we will not give that man Aurelius before that. He will earn that Aurelius status.
I think there's a segue right now because shout out to Jonathan B. He's already debuting new things already. So, of course, you already know you got the Lord of Corrupt Experience, the gaming ninja himself, the Shinobi LordCognito in the realm doing what we do. Thank y'all for rocking out, man. We got a lot of fun today.
I could get down on browsers. He said Ultra Instinct Phil.
Yeah, so shout out to my boy Has, aka OG Neutral Game, already setting the tone. You know what I'm saying? So we out here at the Lords. Y'all know y'all been rocking the Sings, and we've already had Phil Dominus. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's time, King. I think it's time for that Sing that everybody's been waiting for. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's
who did that for you?
Did that for you? That is the question right now.
And the t-shirts is up in the Teespring store. I want you to see this, man. This is a Phil moment.
Why his arms outspread? His wingspan is crazy.
Perfect time to segue.
Store, and if you're joined with us and you're part of the realm, you can put the "Who did that for you" emoji up right now. And if you want to join right now, hit that join button and get that Phil Dominus Spencer and get that "Who did that for you" right now. Hot off the presses. We moving, baby.
I think Phil Dominus shirt needed some company. We need to. Sometimes you got to reflect on who brings you these things in life. Who's responsible?
Hey, yo, let's get that super chat right there for Dev Singer.
No doubt. Shout out to Dev Singer. Kojima saw the Series X and said I'm on the wrong side. Wow, y'all early with this. Y'all early.
You might be on to something. Y'all might be on to something. But
other than that, man, Season of Dawn, all that good stuff. And of course, Outer World still rocking that. You know what I'm saying? At least they got a little shine at the awards and all that. But I'm gonna get into the poll if we get to.
I didn't even get a chance to say what I was playing.
Oh, my bad. Get your rock.
Oh, you know what? No, because I jumped into boxing. But I'm playing Destiny, and for all you frauds out there, hold on. I want you to hold this because Destiny got the first award of the evening. Ooh. That was so fantastic that was.
Hey, King, explain to me how a game that's dead got an award.
I don't know how these dead games is winning, man.
Tell me how a game that's dead just put out good content just the other day. Like this, besides Ubisoft games, which have ungodly life. We was just talking about that. They have unwavering, ungodly life in their games. And Destiny has the same amount of life. Shout out to all the devs. Shout out to the community. Shout out to everybody that keeps this game alive and will not let it go to the bushes at any point in time.
Shout out to the 160 people watching right now.
Facts.
Listen, y'all, because y'all want that smoke, baby. Y'all know what y'all come for.
And trust me, you'll get plenty of it, man. We about to throw a spirit bomb on Sony.
Shout out
right
to
now.
Undead. He said, Lord, I write for a site filled with damn Destiny fans. Shout out to the editor. You already know. Oh, shout out to Lila HD. $10 super chat. I am so loving this energy. Who did that for you? Hashtag T Green 2020. Y'all already know. Put the who did that for you in the chat. That's what's up, man. We appreciate we do something fun for y'all. And all praises to the King, though. King, he designed that, man. Shout out to Graphic God. No guys coming through with it, but that's all King. The hands do it for me, though. I just the hands, bro.
Stretch out your arms and feel. Who did that for you? Because he did it just like this. Who did that for you? Who?
It's the arm that make it fun. It's the wingspan, and you know what make it funny?
You know what it kind of looks like? Kind of looks like that moment where you get mad at Sony and you put up your hands like, "What you doing? Let's go!"
The who did that for you is so monumental because you see the legs spread.
Oh,
like you gotta
Lord.
check the leg spread because he's standing there in that dominance mode and he's telling you who did that for you. This is for my man Grind Your Gears, baby.
No,
yo,
man.
listen, no, because that's how it started.
Yeah, you're right. Shout out to it was Planet Xbox. It debuted because it was the ILP and Planet Xbox collabo show. And there was some things being said about Phil and King. You know, he had to defend his man.
I had to defend, the realm.
Jez went on like a 3-minute rant. And you literally the only thing you responded with that. Well, who did that for you?
Yes, I had to fix it up for the Xbox only begotten son.
How we do it, King? Hold on.
Hold on, it's the color. It's the color,
man.
Look, man, that color got him speaking Jamaican. You just turned him Jamaican.
Hold on, baby.
Thank you so much, brother. He said, I had a great time on Crossfire Friday night with LordCognito. Yo, thank you, brother. Yo, let me tell you right now, Wilmot Hood right now in the community, like if you're not following him, if you're not subscribed to him, please do. It's one of the most positive people in the community.
You need to follow him just how he promotes his podcast. They're hilarious.
Yo, he's tremendous. He's a pure gamer. He's not about the negativity. Please support our brother Wilmot Hood. Thank you so much, brother. And you want to get the next one, Addict?
Yeah, let me go. So we got a $2 super chat from Pixelbit G. Who did that for you? Looks like a Goku spear bomb. You know what, Pixel? Right. You might be on to something.
Yo, you see
that is the Iron Lords podcast throwing that spear bomb on Sony's head.
Oh my God! Stop it!
See it, right? I see him holding it, right?
Oh my Lord! But yeah, that's been it for me. But I know we got some polls.
I don't think he looks like that when he's making it. But okay, we'll go with that.
You're out of control. Yes. So we're going to get into this poll and all this good stuff that we got going on. So last week's poll results are in. The people have spoken to the question, if the rumors regarding Horizon Zero Dawn having a PC release turn out to be true, how does this affect your view regarding Sony first-party exclusives moving forward? The winner of the three-way ILP at 65% is this is the future of gaming. Benefits Sony financially and more gamers get to play. Coming in at second place with 23% of the vote was I don't like this direction. Sony first party should remain exclusive group. And coming in at last place with a surprising 12% of the vote was the I don't care until it's my favorite Sony exclusive group. Shout out to all the lords who have voted. Oh, it looks like we got the man with the million. Is that the man with the
my
million?
Dude right there.
Is that the Lord of the Xbox 2 Red Thor?
What is going on, fellow lords? What a week it has been.
Woo!
Cognito hit me up and he's like, I need you.
Yes.
I need you on ILP this week.
Let's go.
So I'm here, man, because we have a lot to talk about.
I needed
can't
you
wait
like
to
a
get
week
into
and
it.
a half ago when they were coming at my gaming store. And I yelled out, I nominate Randall Thor as my champion.
But did you put like the like the little card, like you hit it's Randall Thor card. You can't talk to me about gaming score.
It is. Once I used my trump card, it was over.
Oh my Lord. No doubt. What's been going on, Randall? What you've been playing, man? It's been an exciting week. What you been playing?
You mean what I haven't been playing? You know what? Okay, listen. So Jez, we did this whole thing for charity, right? My first time ever playing Pokemon.
Yes.
We raised like $700 going to Gamers Outreach,
Beautiful.
right? Suffice to say, Pokemon not for me. And I felt like it's a game made for 12-year-olds.
Ooh, I don't know how I feel about that, but I'll let you get away with that.
Okay.
You a guest in the realm, man. So I won't go too much.
So you're gonna let her rock.
So it's robbed me of my joy of video games.
Wow.
I cannot play that game for longer than 30 minutes without being bored out of my mind. And because of that, I have no desire to play anything else.
Wow. Listen.
That's how I felt about Zero Horizon Dawn.
Oh,
man.
no.
I understand your pain.
Well, you
That's
know,
how I felt about Uncharted.
Well, you know, PC gamers are going to be feeling that boredom too when that game comes to PC soon enough.
Oh, so wait, hold on, Lorette. You agree with the poll that it may come and that more gamers
Oh,
get a chance to
here's the
experience
thing. Here's the thing. I know it's coming. It's not a prediction. I already know.
it? Okay, fair enough.
And it's not just Horizon Zero Dawn.
Uh-oh.
It's quite a lot of Sony first party coming to PC.
Oh my God. Yo, listen, let's start the first topic up, please.
We're gonna start it.
Look, King wants to throw that spirit bomb, so let's throw the spirit bomb.
We gonna get it going right now. I had to give Red his proper introduction. This is going to be a fun show. So let's get to it. Obviously, this is a huge week. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it's the time to power our dreams. Power our dreams. You know what I'm saying?
That super chat.
Sex box is here.
Yo, listen. You know, and I don't agree with the name, but when they did the sad, we was running with that, and we're gonna run with the sex box. So let's go.
Yeah, to be honest with you,
I didn't mind X-Bone either. That was fantastic.
To be honest with you, the sex box is a lot better than sad box.
Definitely different. So shout out to Lord Def Singer. He said, "You think when Sony saw the X was like, oh damn, they got a fridge, we got a dumpster." Also, shout out to Rand. Nice to see with the solid inside news. So we're gonna get to it. I mean, obviously this is a huge week. The Game Awards.
It's probably one of the biggest weeks that's happened this year, if not the biggest week since E3.
You know what I'm saying? So you know, I want to break it down a little different.
And a bad week for Sony, but we won't go.
No, actually, it's a great week for Sony.
Listen.
It was a fantastic week for
It's a
Sony.
bad week for fanboys.
I'm gonna tell you why it was a great week for Sony. But go ahead.
Okay. We can get to you. So so look, you know, at the end of the day, like I said, we had a lot of announcements here, right? We had, you know, the reveal. We had the name, you know what I'm saying? We had Phil on stage at the Game Awards, you know what I'm saying? Then we had a game to talk about, you know what I'm saying? Showcasing power and stuff. So I want to break it down a little different, and I want to start off with the console reveal itself, the name, you know what I'm saying, the tech behind it. So I just want to start with Lord Rand, because that's really why he's here. Because we were itching. We couldn't stop talking to each other in the DMs. And I want to know, paint the picture, Rand. Like, how was that whole feeling for you when this whole thing happened?
Incredible. Like, I need to set it up because earlier that day, I predicted they would do this.
Yes, you did.
On Xbox 2. I said they're going to reveal the console and the name. And people were like, no. And I felt it was happening, man, because I pieced together a lot of the clues that they were dropping around. So,
and I did kind of find a little interesting that all of a sudden people are trying to figure out the name. Like the media is like out of nowhere, everyone, the media is trying to figure out what the name's gonna be.
Right? Yeah, there was that Survivor article that came out. So I'm sitting there watching it, right? And I was watching it in a party with like 8 people, 3 of them from Xbox, and when Jeff started like doing that little hype, like, oh, you guys have really high expectations, world premieres, but then there are things that happen, you know, and I'm like, oh my God, this is it. And I gotta forget, you know, I forget we're in the realm. I was about to use the F-bomb, but I'm not gonna do it.
we respect that. Thank you.
That trailer started, and I knew it was the reveal because someone said, be quiet and pay attention. And I was like, oh my God, it's really happening. So like immediately I'm like, oh my God, this is Scarlet. This is freaking Scarlet. And it's funny watching, like, I watch your guys' reactions later after YouTube, removed it from YouTube?
Yeah, they shut us down. They shut us down for a little bit.
Yeah, you know what's funny, man? I got to work and I was like, I want to watch everyone's reaction. I'm sitting here bored, and then I click, because you know how it like cuts the beginning of it until the full video's rendered. So I had to wait for that to get done. But when the full videos got rendered, they all got blocked, every single one of them, for like 5 or 6 hours.
Shout out to L Boogie, $20. See what you think, you L. Oh, Xbox Series X got people shooketh. Hashtag who did that for you? Yo, who did that for you was lit today. Continue,
Thanks, L.
Red. So you read.
Thank you so much, L.
Red, you watched our reaction. Tell me when you listening how we sounded.
It was amazing. It's like, what'd you say? You're like, show me your teraflops. I was dying, man. But I couldn't. It was such an aggressive move that Microsoft has not made this entire generation.
That's what me and LordCognito were saying. That like this is a big deal because it's not like them.
It's not like them.
It's not like them.
It's not like
No,
to basically turn the tables on PlayStation and to go from reacting to like being
Okay, this is where I'm gonna grab it, because this is the only part I'm gonna be able to grab it from this part right here.
Go ahead, kid.
Okay, shout out to Pixelbit G.
Joining the realm.
Wow. My brother is truly appreciated, and I do appreciate everything that y'all guys do. First and foremost, Randolph Thor is my guy, and he's spot on with what he is saying. But if any of you guys have ever studied 50 Laws of Power, I want y'all to go out and get that book. I want you to study it. They got audio.
It's a good TV show.
They got
not
not
50 Cent. Get out of here. Don't hit me in the bushes.
But get 50 Laws of Power so you can study how to use the art of war by Shang Tsung. Listen, Phil has been using this ever since he was working. Ever since he was on the lowest pole to the highest plane. He has been an even kill quarterback at all times. You have never seen him too high. You've never seen him too low. He's always been that quarterback, that Tom Brady, that Captain America, right there in pocket at all times. And when seeing this, I understood certain duress that he was under before with different regimes in charge. Now, you guys got a chance to see the regular Xbox come out. He wasn't pleased with that. But as a company dude, as the dude toting the line, he had to support it going all the way through. When old boy Donnie got up out of there, the first thing that he did was he revised those boxes, but he had to work in the constraints of those boxes. Right? He couldn't go and change the whole format of how the box looked. So he had to work with what he had. This man has been working with what he had forever. Now, that was from a position of weakness. So everybody's saying Phil is shaking hands and he's so nice, and I don't like how nice he is. When you're moving through a room full of snakes, you got to know how not to get bit.
So that was the progression to power to get to the table, King? That's what we doing?
Exactly. So he finally got to the table. Y'all saw him get to the table. Now that he's at the table and he has people that supporting him, because the team's message has never been clearer. Right? You see people understand what the branding is and the message is. Remember before y'all was saying, oh, we don't understand what the message is. It's too confusing. You have people talking out of turn. That's when everybody wasn't in lockstep. They're in lockstep now.
And you know what I want to like really point out, that if you look at when Phil announced, especially Hellblade, he's talking about, Project Series X, and he announces Hellblade. I don't think I've ever seen him more confident in the entire time.
There was a swag. Go ahead.
It was the confidence he had when he stepped on that stage, and I showed you that picture when he X'd those two dudes out. Like acting like I didn't call it from there. I told you who he was.
Phil Dominus has always been a good speaker, but like when he was speaking that time, it felt like his energy was behind it. Like he was on that stage, and he's like, "Yo, move."
Listen, okay, so back to the position of power where he's talking from, and everybody's confused at new Phil. This is not new Phil. This is Phil Dominus Maximus Spencer, sir. And understand exactly who he is. Soon to be Aurelius, because that is definitely going to happen. But when you start to dictate pace, and Solomon knows exactly what I'm talking about right now.
because the thing is, the Series X is his box from the ground up.
Thank you.
Even with the One X, he had the innards of the one that he had to work with that, right? He had to work within those constraints. This is his box.
Because even when you reimagine to make the X and the S, it's still not his platform.
It's not his platform. He's evolving it, but it's not his platform. This is his platform.
He doesn't care about. He cares about function. The form, he told them to make X, Y, and Z. This is the points that we're trying to hit. That's when you're working from power. You understand? Right. And then we can worry about the form on the outside later. Right. Yeah, it's a sexy box. No doubt. It looks nice.
That's the sex box. But I want to get
and that probably has to do with the name too. Like going with the X series, because I mean, when the X came out in 2017. That was him getting what he wanted for the first time.
Anchorman, you can't be talking like that and scaring me, man. I almost took my headset off and jumped out of my room. You scared me so much.
Listen, man, we got Ink in the bill. We got Madz Gaming in the bill. Madz, what's going on, brother?
That's good.
We
gotta get the super chat.
We get the super chat, and then I gotta let Rand get his bars off because Rand, we gotta get back to the moment. You know what I'm saying? So
shout out to Johanzo Villegas with the $2 super chat. Xbox sex stands tall and erect.
Oh no, y'all too much today. Y'all too much. Shout out to Death Singer to get Osiris off. We need the True King, Mr. 14. This is not the last word of the Destiny podcast.
I am completely okay with you saying get Osiris.
Let's go. But let me bring it back to Rand, because Rand, you know, you were painting the emotional picture. You were painting. I want to go back to the moment. Give us everything going on through your mind while this is happening.
And I do want to ask Rand too, before he answers that. Did you expect the Hellblade announcement?
I did. I did say in the show that I thought there would be a third game, an unannounced game that Microsoft would show. And I said I thought it could be Ninja Theory's project. So I figured when they revealed the console, I'm like, they're gonna look. We all know what the talking point has been about Xbox this gen, especially recently, ever since XO19.
Which one?
The one about all they make are cartoony games. You know, Grounded comes out bleeding. The most recent one, because people are starting to shy away from Xbox has no games to they do, but they're cartoony, right?
Right.
So Phil takes the lead, right? He takes the baton from Sony, basically jump starts or jumps forward ahead of everybody, because we're sitting here thinking, all right, early next year, Sony's going to do a PlayStation 5 meeting in February. They're going to show it off. Microsoft will, come back afterwards like they did. But no, Phil's like, screw that. I'm dropping the box now during the VGAs, and it's going to be the talk of the town. Literally it'll be like, think about this. I didn't even care what happened during the VGAs.
yo, that's real talk.
I didn't even care. I sat there and I was just like looking at people's reactions. Like, it completely overshadowed that whole event. And since then, it's been all people can talk about, right? And now the question is like, well, it looks stupid. It looks like a refrigerator. And then the other talking point is, well, Grandma, she's gonna be so confused.
Oh, wait, hold
oh my God! Don't get me started.
Okay, fine, whatever, right? But and then Phil, he's like, knowing, and we all know, like, okay, the talking point. He's like, all right, we only make cartoony games. They're only AA. Check out this, and it's Ninja Theory's new game, and it looks ridiculously insane. And then all of a sudden, all the haters and whiny bitches out there, shut up. And it's one quick move. Phil Dominus Spencer just played all the critics.
Hellblade looked like that
you
kind
love to see it, and this is the type of feeling I wanted to feel.
Thank you.
After E3, I thought XO19 was all right, but like after E3, I was so disappointed because I thought they missed the marks so bad.
Yes.
And then now I'm like, okay, I think they know what they're doing. They have a plan in place clearly. And I mean, I've been saying this for a while, and people get on me for it. I've never been more excited for the future of Xbox.
Yeah.
Like when you compare,
there's just so much
today.
unknown.
Yeah, well, when you compare today, 2019, year out, to where Xbox was in 2012, a year out from the 360, like the future was a system built for Connect and TV watching instead of the beast, the monster Series X, which is built to do one thing, and that's play video games.
You notice, Rand, he was completely clear when he said that.
Exactly.
Like, his message was so clear that he said this is built for games.
This is built for games. And then you had Microsoft flirting with Connect and making that trash back then. and then like the studios. Now you have 15 studios all making different stuff. No gimmick bullshit.
Language,
language, sir, please.
I know
I'm getting excited.
Listen, I understand the passion
excited.
is sitting in your chest, and this is from all that stuff that you had to endure and hear and all this other crap when you knew it wasn't true. But see, I've known that this week, ever since that Xbox show, that thing, the award show, the Xbox show, ever since the Xbox show came on, they was doing some award stuff there too. Nobody's been bothering you.
Well, some people in my comment section.
Oh no, people are
no one ever raised a comment
But
section.
here's so I like the name a lot. I mean, they screwed over the naming convention with the 360. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Like, I like the fact that it's just Xbox, and I was trying to explain it in my video. Like, listen, the name is Xbox. Series X is the type.
Is the code.
You know,
So,
and when Lockhart comes out, it'll be Series S. And you remember, Cognito, when me and Dealer pulled you aside for that Destiny intervention talk back in October, right? What did me and Dealer tell you? Me and Dealer told you Lockhart's real.
Yes.
But at that point in time, everybody's like, Lockhart's canceled. Me and Dealer were like, no, dude, Lockhart never was canceled. That's a little inside info. And Cognito was like, you guys serious? And we're like, but dude, the information will come out eventually that Lockhart is real. And, you know, Dealer's been saying that in videos for
Dealer's been on it
quite some time. And I've been saying on the podcast, it's like, it's real. And here you go, Series X. No power greater than X. So you know
exactly
that is the moniker for the most powerful version. I don't know what they'll name Lockhart.
Yes,
but my God, I am
no
so
value
excited.
greater than S. No value greater than S. That's
you know, instead of
that's
the Series X, you have Power Your Dreams. Let's just call it Series S. Power Your Wallet. There you go.
No doubt. I want to touch on one thing before I pass it around the round table. You know, as far as what Rand said, and I think,
shout out to that 202.
Yo, shout out to the 202. Shout out to G Mark Lewis with the $2 super chat. Godfall is Destiny DLC. Yo, Salve, you want to get that, CJ Miller?
Shout out to CJ Miller with the $10 super chat. There's a lot of folks acting brand new after that Xbox Hellblade reveal. Keep that same energy.
Listen, man, I think, Rand, you touched on something that's really important. And a lot of people I noticed are like, yo, y'all acting brand new, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know, for the Xbox fan base. And I think what you said had so much weight of the whole generation, right? The whole generation, as far as what I consider magic moments where you galvanize your base. Me and you, Rand, have had these conversations after E3, you know what I'm saying, 2019, XO and stuff like that, where they may have had good displays if you look at it on paper, what they actually presented, but they actually never really appeased the hardcore. And I think what this did was not only were they proactive, right? And jumping ahead and very aggressive. And the key thing for me is it was such a surprise. Like, really, outside of you predicting, right? The majority did not leak this. No one knew about it. So it had so much more of an impact. And again, like you said, AAA experience, right? Mature title. Single player, right?
And the thing is, because I got it right, people are like, oh, you knew. Because sometimes I'll slyly say it's my prediction, but I already know. No, honestly, I did not.
I'm never betting with you, sir.
I did not know. Nobody told me. And I don't know. Like, it was such the fact that it didn't leak. And this, I mean, look, we all love leaks. We all love them, right?
That's what I told. That's what I told Eric Greenberg.
No one was looking for this leak. No one thought they were going to show anything.
Well, they obviously told people because GameStop or GameSpot and IGN had stuff up right away.
Right away,
they were prepared, right?
Yes.
But I'm just saying, like even look at like State of Play, right? Resident Evil 3 announcement would have been massive if it didn't leak. Well, granted, Sony leaked it themselves because the PSN era. But this was amazing because it didn't leak, and everybody was so surprised. Because then you watch it and it's like, what is this like? And you're like, everyone's like, because when I was watching the people's reactions, like, is this BioShock? As soon as they go into the water, right?
Like, XCOM,
like,
XCOM.
You were like, is this XCOM? And I'm like, what the heck is that smoking?
Look, Addict was like, it's
look, just because you don't play XCOM don't mean that mine was any less predictive than yours. All right, XCOM 3 and BioShock are both in the water. I don't need that energy from you right now.
XCOM, and then he's like, wait a minute, there's a car.
And then the car shows up, and you can see people's disappointments because they're like, a racing game, but then immediately switched to a soccer player, and you could see people are like, wait a minute, and then it's Master Chief, and you think to yourself,
the moment I saw Master Chief, that's when it started hitting me. That's when it started hitting me.
That black monolith, straight from 2001 Space Odyssey, right? Looking like a tower PC or whatever, and you knew as soon as I saw that thing, I'm like, they chose that form factor for a reason, and the reason, which I'm sure Madz can explain better than any of us here, is because that thing is a beast. And it's funny because I know some people in the community, like give Dealer a lot of, don't believe him or give him a lot of crap. But man, he's kind of spot on with a lot of his videos. He had that video come out basically giving the specs, and then Windows Central said they heard the same stuff, and now Phil's saying the same stuff. It's like, maybe you should pay attention to what a lot of us are saying, because we know some stuff. No doubt. And it's just a great time, man. Like, I cannot, like, Hellblade. We already know next gen games. We got Hellblade. We got Everwild. You got Halo Infinite. More to come. I saw during the Game Informer when they were reacting to it. He said that he talked to Matt Booty, one of the guys, and he said, you'll see what the Initiatives game is going to be like in a few months. Wow. So I'm assuming at a reveal or whatever, like they're going to be hitting on all cylinders, man. And it just makes me happy.
And you know what I want to point out too, Rand, like the best thing I could take from the Video Game Awards is like Phil isn't holding back. Like Phil Dominus Spencer, like he came out there. And, people keep saying, they're not going to announce anything. Phil don't like announcing stuff too far out. And he came out there, he's like, here's Hellblade 2. And so, like, that's what gave me a lot of hope for, especially, an event like E3, is because now everything's on the table if he's willing to do Hellblade 2.
No doubt. Shout out to Cyrus Burke with the $2 super chat. Tower of Power. So let's get, is Lord Madz in the room? I see him muted. Hopefully he's unmuted because I want to get some tech breakdown for him. But while we're waiting for Madz, Lord Anchorman, man, I see you in the building. And of course, Gaming Forte. I want to get you in, man. Like, put me through. Oh, there's Madz. I see Madz for a second. And then we'll get Anchor. Madz, you there? Your mics is up. LordsOfGaming.net tech guru.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we're good, brother. Poland in the building. There's Poland.
The creator of fancy-looking PlayStation vids.
Yes. Now, Lord Madz, man, I want to take you through it. Me and you have been talking for a while, and obviously we talked about what you're feeling on the reveal, but I also want your feeling from the technical aspect, right? Because me and you, we love to dive under the hood. What's going on there? You know what I mean? Because we're hearing a lot of terms, you know what I'm saying? And I want you to break it down, man. Like, tell me what your feel is.
Okay, so maybe my feelings on the actually reveal.
Let's go.
First of all, I didn't watch it live, which was very unfortunate because I live in Poland, so it was like 2:30 a.m. for me to watch it, and I was actually wondering. I was like, okay, should I stay and should I watch and stuff? But like, I had to go, obviously, to work next day and stuff. So I like, you know what? There's probably nothing going to be interesting there, so I just skip it, right? And I woke up and I'm like, what the hell is going on with my Twitter, right? It's like,
you know what's funny, Madz? I actually like brought my work home to watch that thing.
Yeah.
Okay, Madz. I'll take us to the moment. We got to get everybody's feeling. What was going through your mind, man?
Yeah, and I was like, "What the hell is it?" I mean, people are talking about new Xbox. I mean, how long have I been sleeping? How long have I been sleeping? Like,
Madz then fell asleep for a couple months.
Yeah, I was like, "Damn, E3 just happened or what?" Right? So I obviously I started going through my my wife was like, kind of like, "Hey, Madz, hey, Marcin, what's going on?" Right? I mean, like, because I was like sitting at the with my phone in my hands, like basically like concentrated and stuff, right? And Yeah, I was shocked, and obviously then I just went through, like, I didn't watch the whole reveal. I mean the whole show. I just wanted to watch the actual reveal. So obviously, I kind of knew that what I am about to see. Right, I knew that they're going to reveal it and stuff. I was surprised because, first of all, the actual form factor, right?
Let's talk tech, man. Let's get it.
I mean, like, the first thing, obviously, I play on PC quite a lot as well, and I was like, that's a nice looking PC tower, right? So I mean, the form factor is like, I guess it is a little bit boring to me. I guess they could done something more to it, right? But like, I'm totally fine with, because people are kind of like, some people are concerned about where they're going to put it or whatever, right? Some people were concerned that they won't be able to
lay it down horizontally.
Right? Yeah, exactly. So obviously that was debunked and stuff. But hey, man, I mean, this thing is huge for a console. Hey, I mean, for PC it's like small factor PC, right? But for a console, it's big, and when you look at it, it screams power, right? So I mean, like, I do like how it looks and stuff.
So are you cool? Let me ask you this though: are you cool with the function over form, so to speak? And then obviously we've gotten the specs, and I wanted to touch about the we've got confirmation NVMe SSD. Right, we're talking about controller share button. They're talking about with the 7-nanometer process. So I want you to get down with that tech. Like, how impressed were you with that?
Okay, well, so obviously that was not in the actual reveal, right? So like, after I watched that and after I saw the magnificent trailer of obviously Hellblade 2, I love the first game. So, man, I mean, like, and this heavy metal kind of song, I mean, music and stuff, right? That was, I mean, I've watched this kind of,
Hellblade's the kind of game I play with the lights on.
I mean, no, I don't. I mean,
you got to do that
with the headphones.
Headphones, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, I watched this trailer like 15 times at least that day. But obviously then the Phil Spencer posted this blog, right? And there's a very important thing in this blog post, right? Obviously they confirmed that it's Zen based. So I'm talking about CPU. They obviously confirmed NVMe, which is very fast SSD and stuff, right? I'm not sure where I read that, but somebody was saying that it's going to offer up to 2 gigabytes of bandwidth, right?
Yes.
So just to give you a comparison, like a standard hard drive, which you may actually find in your PC or Xbox, for example, right? Offers like in terms of bandwidth, it offers around like 100 megabytes per second, right? Reads and writes, right? I mean, some are a little bit faster, some are a little bit slower, but let's just on average 100 megabytes. So this NVMe apparently is going to offer 2, maybe even 3 gigabytes, right? So the claim that you heard from Phil Spencer or somebody else from Microsoft saying that the storage is going to be 40 times faster.
Wow,
that's possible.
Wow, and people don't understand. Just to put you for a second, that the importance of NVMe, you know what I'm saying, with the SSD as far as your boot times and also the functionality they're talking about. And they're talking about multiple games, y'all, being able to come back from a resume state, not just one, multiple.
And the funny thing about that is I was listening to, shout out to BG's impressions, and he actually brought that SSD up, and he's like, I don't think they'll be using that. He's like, let me look that up. He's like, wow, they really not playing. They're using that too. Like,
So from a tech
by the way, shout out to the over 222 people watching right now.
This is impressive. Just to see y'all in here, this is tremendous.
225.
Oh my God. Sorry, I'm a little behind the times.
You always are, so it's okay.
Continue, Madz, with the tech. Man. I just want to let you finish.
So obviously, like, if we're talking about the differences between current generation and next generation, like each generation offers some sort of like performance boost CPUs in terms of like GPU, CPU, whatever, right? But the actual storage was always pretty much the same. If you compare the storage, like original Xbox had a hard drive. It's probably offered like maybe half of the. It offered maybe half of the speed like of the current hard drives, maybe, right? So obviously, the differences between like OG Xbox 360 and Xbox One hard drives are not really that huge, right?
Right.
But now we are getting like 40 times faster, storage, right? I mean, that's huge. So, but obviously, like storage is fine, cool, right? I don't mind waiting a couple of seconds for a game to load.
Right.
But what really got me excited is the fact that in this blog post, Bill Spencer talks about variable rate shading.
Yes.
And okay, so when they announced Scarlet at E3, they obviously confirmed the hardware accelerated ray tracing. Now, if somebody is following what AMD is doing, and obviously AMD is working with Microsoft, on the actual GPU and CPU side of things.
That's right.
Current Navi GPUs are not supporting ray tracing. I mean, hardware accelerated ray tracing.
Really?
Right. This feature is going to be officially supported, and that has been already confirmed in the next second generation of RDNA, second generation Navi, right? Which, as the latest reports say, probably going to be announced in next couple of weeks. I mean, probably CES. Okay. I mean, that's so literally like 2-3 weeks.
2-3 weeks. Yeah, that makes sense. That's coming up CES.
So just the fact alone that Scarlet will be supporting hardware accelerated ray tracing back then. Many people, including myself, basically saying, okay, so does it mean that Scarlet is going to be using RDNA 2.0, right? Second generation RDNA. And I will tell you why it's so important in a second.
Break it down.
So now we're actually getting another feature that is supported only by RDNA 2.0, which is variable rate shading, right?
And they said patented. Phil said patented that version.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean much.
That's corporate speak.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they've got their own way of using it on the Series X, right? But like this is not a new technology. NVIDIA has been actually using it for a while. Not many games actually support it, but like once consoles get it, I mean that's probably going to be a different story.
Right.
So now we've got two features: ray tracing, hardware accelerated ray tracing, and variable ray shading that are supposed to be supported only on Navi, big Navi as people call it, right? So RDNA 2.0.
Right.
So is it? I mean, like add 1 to 1. It's where it leads. I mean,
it needs the 2. What leads the 2?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like obviously this is not an official confirmation of Scarlet using RDNA 2.0, but it looks like that's going to be the case. And now let's talk about power.
Woo!
So the current RDNA is not the most efficient microarchitecture. The problem is that it draws a lot of power. So if you draw a lot of power, you will produce a lot of heat.
Yes.
Well, obviously, that may lead to issues, right? Like console sounding like Jumbo Jet, basically.
Right. We got that big oscillating fan on the top though with the green light. That's not going to help.
Yes. Yeah. So I mean that may be an indication that the chip is going to be right.
Right.
There's going to be a lot of heat, and that needs to be obviously pulled out of the from the actual box. Now, what's interesting about RDNA 2? Now, obviously, that has not been officially confirmed because there's no benchmarks yet. But RDNA 2.0 is supposed to that's going to be produced on an improved 7 nanometers process, which should be cheaper to produce because current 7 nanometers process is still expensive. Believe it or not. So a 7 nanometers plus EUV process apparently is cheaper, right? So so it makes sense to use it,
right?
Another thing, it offers 20% reduction in transistor density, right? So basically, you can put more stuff on the same area, right? And we know that those chips, when TSMC, for example, produces a chip, AMD or Microsoft doesn't pay them for features, but they pay them for the actual size of the chip, right? So the bigger chip is, the more you have to pay.
Right.
But when you have a new technology that allows you to put the more transistors on the same size of chip, well, you get basically extra performance.
Extra performance.
So,
baby.
yeah. So I mean, like, because like if a week ago, if you told me that next gen consoles probably going to be 12 teraflops, I would say, I mean, no, that's not going to happen.
Right.
I mean, I really, because like
I mean,
really
everybody.
thought,
Let's be real. The consensus was that this was, pump the brakes, right? As far as a console having that level of performance, right? But now, based on what you're saying, based on this tech that's inside that now we're discovering, are you basically saying that this could possibly reach or exceed that performance?
He is.
Continue.
Hello,
Yeah.
Christopher. How
Christopher
are
Hart's
you?
in the building. Oh, shout out to G Mark
Welcome.
Lewis with the $2 super chat. It's about as tall as Xbox One X standing up. Okay, people in the building. I'm gonna let you go finish up, Madz, and I gotta get the other guys in.
250 on your head,
Yeah.
Christopher.
yeah. So just last one thing. So basically, if Microsoft is really going to use RDNA 2.0, it's really possible that next gen console is going to might end up with 12 teraflops GPU, and it should be totally fine in terms of like power draw and the heat dissipation and everything, right? And just the fact alone that Microsoft officially confirmed that they will have hardware accelerated ray tracing and variable ray shading on that chip. Means that they're probably going to be using RDNA 2.0, which is huge, right? So yeah,
that's huge, yo. Shout out to Madz for the tech
So
breakdown.
I do have a question. Real quick for him.
Okay.
From your technical standpoint, try to give me an estimate of your shot in the dark of how much you think this thing's gonna cost.
Wait, hold on on price. Hold on on price. I got that. I got you. We got Forte. We got KidSmove in the realm.
Well, we can't really, we can't go into their forms of this until we know the price. Like,
no, but that's later. Hold up. You jumping ahead. Hold on. We gonna get, because I got a specific topic for them. Now, KidSmove, are you in the building, sir?
I am here, dude.
KidSmove, man. I mean, listen, me and you go back, and you are the king of reaction. So I got to give you credit for actually shouting us out on a reaction. But I gotta know.
I thought you were gonna die from like an aneurysm or something, man. Like, you were barely breathing when they announced it.
Because KidSmove, LordSmove, I consider you the king of reactions, right? I love watching you do something live, whether it's a difficult game or what have you. So I need to know your
KidSmove
mindset.
gets excited, he falls out of chairs.
You know what I'm saying? You're like,
Bro,
Game Awards. Put me through your mindset. What's happening?
Yo, here's the thing, right? I was getting bummed out, right? Because I was like, I was coming to the facts that Death Stranding was going to sweep, some of the things, or at least the major awards. So it was like, whatever. And then the games, because remember, it was they revealed a couple things first, but they weren't like big deals. I was like, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't care for the reveals. And then Jeff Keighley had got this smirk on his face, and I'm like, what is he like? What he think he finally
Death
got?
Stranding 2.
He finally gonna show up some like bullcrap like indie game we never heard of. That's gonna be the big surprise. So I'll tell you what happened. So when the trailer started coming up, right? Honestly, I thought it was gonna be some Death Stranding update, right?
DLC for Death Stranding.
And then
Jeff Keighley Kojima marriage.
when the talking started, I thought it was BioShock related, in the water and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, okay, all right, this could be exciting for people. And so then the car came. No. When the car came, right, I thought it was like, oh, but what racing game was been like we've been waiting for a long time that we haven't had in a long time. I'm like, is this like Burnout or some shit? Like maybe a new Burnout game? And then the soccer player comes, and I'm like, what? I was like, is this an EA mashup? What the EA Access?
EA Access matchup? I like that.
Yeah, and I'm like, and then Master Chief, and I'm like, I'm like, what's going on? Is this like a Game Pass for like iCloud, or like is it like now I'm thinking the Xbox, but I'm not thinking console. I'm thinking like iCloud, like official, like, hey, this is what
iCloud. Right? Where are you at right now?
iCloud, xCloud.
Oh yeah.
Because I saw Master Chief, I wasn't thinking, and then everything shapes into a cube, and my heart dropped. Because here's the thing. I was about 15 seconds ahead of everybody that I was watching the stream because I was using the glorious.
They were legitimately telling him to shut up. Like,
I was watching on the glorious mixer. They were watching on the delayed YouTube. So, soon as I seen it like turned to a cube before it even turned black, I started screaming. Like my wife was getting so mad at me because she was trying to prepare to. I was like, yo! I'm like, oh god! But I didn't want to spoil.
And it got worse when he announced Hellblade. He couldn't contend. He's like, Hellblade!
No, dude. When it turned like black in the controller, I was like, oh my god! And I'm like, yo, I can't believe I'm like super hyped, like to the point where I just started grabbing my phone and just started tweeting bull stuff. Like I don't even know what I was tweeting. I just started tweeting.
You was loose. You was out of
pocket.
pocket.
Like, oh my god! Like, so come and then they gave the name. I was like, Xbox Series X, like, awesome, pre-order now. Tell me, I'm sitting here.
And you know what sucks, man? He hit me up like 30 minutes before our reaction because I think he was trying to get it
I was
hard.
gonna get into somebody's reaction, like, because I was feeling lazy. I was like, I'm not a fan of the Game Awards like that, so I didn't feel like it was worth it for me.
Facts.
And then so I was checking to see who's doing the live reaction that I could jump in. So I ended up jumping in Mercs. I would have loved to have jumped in Yaz because, I'll explain that in a minute. So it happened, and I'm like, yo, and my wife was like, what's going on? Is this another E3? I was like, it is now. And I'm like, I'm like, yo, I can't believe it. So I'm like, at this point, I'm super excited because it came as a complete total shock. And the crazy thing is, I was actually upset because I missed Xbox 2. Like I usually watch.
We gotta get that Rand and that jazz.
No, I missed it that more. So I didn't get to hear Rand call it out.
Yeah,
I think that at the end of the day was better for you because
it turned out to be better. It turned out to be better for me. But that was like the one Xbox 2 podcast I missed, and I forgot. No, I had a bad day at work. That's what happened. But so it happened, and then Phil Spencer come on stage, and I'm just like, it was so bad that I didn't even care because remember, you know how on Discord I didn't know for the longest time you can mute everybody if you didn't want to hear them. Right. So I had the Discord muted after a while just to listen to what Phil Spencer was saying, and then the Hellblade thing coming, and I'm like, yo, I'm in total shock. And to the point after that was over, I could not pay attention to the rest of the dang show.
Yeah, it was kind of a distraction because it was we couldn't believe what just happened, so to speak.
Yeah. Like I could at that point, the minute that stopped, right? I could care less who won what. I didn't care if Death Stranding would have swept the rest of the show. You wouldn't have heard anything from me.
You know that's funny because I said the same thing. I was like, LordCognito, they can even Death Stranding can win. I'm good. Yeah. Like,
no doubt.
Yo, and so it was just like super excited. And so and I've just been like ultra excited over like the last 48 hours, and then I finally had the time to check out the other because I knew there was a lot of people reacting. And I was like, you know what? Let me check out ILP. So I was like, I want to see what happened like during that moment. So I was like, I like fast forwarded just to right to that Jeff Keighley part, and I was like, let me see what happens, right? And everybody's giving it this dude Addict going off XCOM. I'm like, where's he seeing this XCOM from? But I was like,
look, I can't help none of you played XCOM. It's not my problem.
When it came, the Cognito was like, the Scarlet, yo, bring the Terrafloss. I was like, I wish I was there. Yo,
I was like, I'm not even joking. I was when they announced that console, I was speechless.
Yeah,
like I was just like, I'm just sitting like in the time it registered, he announced Hellblade. Like I was in denial. I was like, they're not doing this. They're not announcing this at the Video Game Awards. Like
unbelievable. I mean, shout out to Forte who's in here. Shout out to Boomstick XL. I mean, we were all floored. I just got to transition real quick because I know for kids, I got to ask you some other questions too. We got a big show, but I want to switch just for a second because I think we got the reveal, but I want to switch also to now obviously price, SKUs and confusion. Because there's a lot going on. The Twitter streets are hot. Obviously the name, we got Xbox Series X, we got all that stuff popping. You know what I'm saying? And I definitely want to get them in because especially you, Forte, because obviously I'm not gonna put your business out, but obviously you work in game retail, you deal a lot with that. And the talk that we're hearing is obviously we know the name is very similar, right? Xbox Series X, and we already have an Xbox One X. You know what I'm saying? So people are saying, yo, this is going to cause confusion. A lot of people are going to go to retail and they're not going to be able to know what to buy, you know, and this could cause problems. This was a bad mistake, you know, on Microsoft. So I want to bring it to you, Forte, in this question. Like, the question I have for you is, being that you work in retail, the question I have is, like, when little Timmy sends mom or his grandma to go get, you know, a console, you know, is it a situation based on your personal experience, right? Because you deal with multiple, you know, different outlets, retail outlets, you know, that are you seeing like high return rates for people who purchase a system and it's the incorrect system because they didn't have the information, or is this something that's overblown? Like, where do you sit with this, Forte?
This is the most overblown thing I've ever seen in my life. It's like, if anybody, okay, so just a little behind the scenes, if we ever return an item, it gives us an option to pick why it's being returned, and incorrect version or wrong SKU is one of those, and they do give us a report on what those are. And I'm just trying to fathom in my mind little Timmy sending mom into a store to say, hey, I want to get an Xbox Series X. Well, I can see how it could be confused with a regular Xbox, and mom come in there and see it. But if they come into the store and say, hey, I want to get that new Xbox that they're talking about, first of all, the X is 2-3 years old at that point, so it's not new. And then second of all, there's a price disparity in that price. What person is literally going to walk into a store and just pay $700-$600 for a system and not?
I don't want to hear that $700 stuff from you now.
Hey man, hey, I am king of that $600 price point. I've been telling.
Oh no, we were just talking $7. Okay.
Well, hey, 700 can be a realistic thing, man. I don't think it will happen. But $600 is, I think that's on the table.
I don't think Anaconda's gonna be $699.
Get to it.
I hope it is. But no, I don't.
He on his king. He wanted premium. Continue.
No, but I overall think that it's more of the confusion is going to be more for people trying to train their associates on actually talking about the SKUs than customers walking into the store buying it. Because I'm sorry, I'm an informed guess. I'm going to ask questions about something that has a $200 to $300 price disparity.
Now let me get Anchor, man, because Anchor, I know me and you, again, a very contentious topic.
Oh, he was very vocal about talking.
Twitter's very lit these days. So my question to you, Anchor, like, you know, what about the people who say, look, this is different from phones. This is not like cars and monitors. You know what I'm saying? This is a console, and people, you'd be surprised that the common, you know, full casual doesn't know, and they, you know, could buy the incorrect thing. What do you say to that?
The floor is yours, Anchor Man. I'm listening.
So I will first and foremost say this, and I'm sure Forte will back me up on saying
we got a super chat.
Oh yeah, shout out to
Jonathan.
Jonathan.
Go to the super chat first.
What about Lil DeAndre though? The fake outrage instead of Lil Timmy. He's stupid.
Did you get Perfect Shogun? Did you get Perfect Shogun?
I missed him. Please.
We got a $2 super chat from Perfect Shogun. I had the same reaction as Smooth. I was yelling.
Yes.
Sorry that we missed that.
Sorry, we missed that. Get it.
Yeah. So my whole thing is that literally in a worst case scenario, let's say we're not talking about like, okay, headsets where there's like 30 different things and nobody knows anything about headsets and no one's ever going to be concerned about headsets. And it's like, I really don't know the difference between all these, but there's like a $5, $10 difference on every single headset that I have out here. Right. Like we don't know the difference. And there's no point in pretending that it's even remotely close to the same. Here, you only have like maybe 3 options. And every single time you go down that list, all you're going to ask is, hey, yeah, is this the latest thing? Yes or no? If it's not the latest thing, we don't even care at that point. If you're asking for the latest hardware, there's only 2 options. Right. Like, and you're going to ask yourself price or power. Right. And at that point, there's really no point of even arguing that. That, oh, this is confusing or anything. And we've already set the establishment, and I firmly believe that Lockhart will be called Series S. Okay. And I think it's going to be white. I think they're going to make it just like the Xbox One S. They're going to make it white. So it's really going to be, do you want the white one or the black one?
Right. So you have more of a color distinction kind of thing.
It's literally, you're either sitting, I honestly don't believe, because we always use the same example of, little Timmy is sending his mom out to go get him a Christmas present. He's not going with her. and she's just like, I don't know the differences, whatever, just pick something. We always assume that's always the hypothetical scenario.
Right. But
we're not talking about regular Joe Schmo going out there who's like 20, 30 years old. He knows what he's getting anyway.
Right.
So we're not talking about that scenario. We're talking about, an uninformed person who doesn't know anything about video games being sent to go buy something for someone else. Either little Timmy knows exactly what he wants and is going to say, Mommy, I want the Xbox Series X.
Right.
And is going to use that term specifically. And that's it.
But for the
little mom or mom doesn't care.
For the sake of fairness, right?
Let's go.
You know, again, we have to admit, Xbox Series X sounds like Xbox One X. So,
nah, man.
All right, I'm gonna give it back to you. But my question is like, okay, you know, do we still have to say the onus is on Microsoft to get the messaging correct? Like they still to retail, to you guys, like they have to be very informed so that someone doesn't buy the incorrect system based on the names being kind of similar.
Hey King, will you get those last 2 super chats real quick before we move on?
Okay, you want me to use my blind eyes at this
Oh
moment?
my god! Okay, we got a
Boogie. Shout out L Boogie for the $2 super
chat.
Lockhart will not be out holiday 2020. I beg to differ, but hey, you know.
And then we got the one from Jonathan B.
Get Jonathan B soft.
Yeah.
What about? I think you read.
We got DeAndre. Yeah, we got that.
Yeah,
we got that.
yeah.
So again, Forte. So explain to me why that you don't think that's an issue.
So I will tell you this. I will agree with you on one thing. The marketing that Microsoft does on the back end will significantly help with this issue. But I just think overall, it comes down. It really just comes down to people know what they want. You know, most of these people buy stuff offline anyways. You know, when this system releases, it's going to be the number one reserved or sold game system on Amazon. So it's not like people are going to make a real big distinction in price and problem with that. I just think overall it really just comes down, like he just said, you know, they come into the store, they have a directive of what they want to get. That mother or father or brother or whoever's buying it is going to ask questions. And I always equate, like the big thing I always tell people now when it comes to the difference between the X and the S is, now, what's the difference? Well, do you want a 4-cylinder or do you want an 8-cylinder with a supercharger? Because I literally just dumb it down to what most people can understand. And then then when they say it, it's like, oh, okay. So it's basically just a faster, more prettier, and more upscalable system. I don't even have to tell them that. They kind of know that by just the analogy itself.
Right. All right.
And also the other scenario that I always think about is like, okay, they're sending mom or dad in, and mom and dad doesn't care about little Timmy. They're just getting him something to shut him up. And they're saying, okay, I just want give me the Xbox. And as a sales associate, you're probably going to say like, okay, do you want the latest thing or do you want the or something else? It's like, all right, well, I want the latest thing, whatever the new Xbox is. It's like, all right, cool. Well, we got one that's like $500, $600. It's like the most powerful one. Or we got one that's a little bit cheaper. You can use that one too, whichever one you want. And they're going to make a decision right then and there because they don't really care about little Timmy.
Yeah, we got.
You want to know what?
Let me get the second one.
Yeah, Sephew Poetic X Initiative with the follow super chat. Shout out to the Justice League / Avengers panel. Hate that I gotta go to work. We'll catch the rest later. Keep up the Lord's work. Salute, man.
So we got a $20 super chat from NYT. My son sent me a screenshot of what he wanted for Christmas. # little Timmy grown now. That's what I want to bring up. Like, look. At the end of the day. Like, we gotta stop acting like casuals, like the dumbest human beings walking around. Like,
but most of them are though, Alex.
No, but
it's just the fact that
it's like I said. You mean to tell me? It's like I said on Twitter that someone will Google what's the hottest spot around the area to go eat, but they won't Google something that will cost them $600.
This is what's gonna happen.
Little Timmy told me to do this. I don't care anymore. Just do it.
This is what's gonna happen.
People aren't gonna invest that kind of money without at least looking and see what it is and make sure they have the right.
Gotta get his bars off.
No, listen. All this fake talk. This is trash. This is fake talk.
Let's go.
Game Forte understands that one, there won't be no X's and S's in the store. Facts. So this is what's going to happen. Microsoft is going to stock up these stores with the new systems. And new systems is where GameStops and these retailers make their money. They're not going to be sitting there selling old systems. Yeah, the old systems will probably fall out of production because that's not what they're trying to push forward. You understand? I do know that they're going to run out of the stock. They're going to sell off the stock or whatever the stock is, the same way that PlayStation is selling off old VR units, the same way Nintendo sold off all Switch units.
True.
These units will be sold out. They will go out later, earlier now, and then later on in the year when those two SKUs is out for the white one and the black one. That's going to be the only question when you go inside the store.
Right.
You know, do you how much are you spending? First of all, the price disparity is going to be enough and alone to make a parent say, no, he didn't do this well this year to get this, or you know, oh, this is
That
where
ain't my
our
job.
price range
And that's another thing.
And also,
that
why do you care which unit gets sold?
And
Well, see, that's the pocket watching.
So
that
it's
pocket
It's a
watching?
sale to Xbox either way.
That's another thing that, you know, I think people really, the only really people buying the Anaconda version of this is the people who know what the Anaconda is.
No, it's the people that are on this panel. You know, the people that are here.
That's what I meant. The people that actually know what the product is.
But some people
The big
invested
thing,
in 4K and 8K televisions. Those are the premium people that are getting this. Now, I do want a Lockhart for the television that I have downstairs. Is the premium 1080p television, and I don't see nobody buying no TV that I paid $5,000 for at 1080p. So I'm stuck with this television, but I'm gonna put that Lockhart on it. And I'm gonna get the best I can get out of it.
No doubt.
So
it's not just that. There's something else that's more important, and this is the part we have not talked about. These systems are access points to an ecosystem.
Yes.
The ecosystem is the most important aspect of this entire thing, and a new generation is a jumping on point for a lot of different people. And with these systems, these are, like I said before, these are just access points.
Right.
It's how do you want to access your library of games. And this generation that we are currently in right now, we're about to transition over to, I believe was the start of the ecosystem.
No doubt.
More than anything else.
Lord Rand, let me get random because I haven't got a chance to talk to you about this specific subject, and then I get solved after, which is, you know, there's a lot of talk. Again, people are saying, you know, this could be a confusing thing for Microsoft. Like, where do you stand on this thing with the marketing and the whole naming conventions?
Well, it's on Microsoft to market it correctly. It's one of the areas that they have been lacking this entire generation is messaging and marketing. But like I've been saying since we heard Anaconda and Lockhart were a thing back in 2018, that come holiday 2020, there won't be Xbox One X's on the store. Microsoft is going to discontinue that console because it really doesn't serve a purpose anymore. Lockhart is better in every way than the X, and it'll be cheaper than it. So it'll basically replace it, and you'll have Series X, you'll have whatever they're going to call Lockhart Series S, and then you'll have the SAD for a cheaper, you know, getting price.
Why that tone, Red? Why that?
I'm just saying, like it's not that hard to kind of figure out exactly what Microsoft's going here. So I don't really see a scenario where someone goes to the store and there's like an X really to be bought besides the used version of it at GameStop. That's going to be discontinued. Plain and simple. I've been saying that since 2018. So I don't really think people will get confused. Now, I mean, it's not like straightforward like PlayStation 5 is. I mean, let's be honest. But I like the idea that it's just Xbox. It's just like, this is the new one. Series X is the model. But, I mean, Anchorman's right. It's all about the ecosystem. Phil said he doesn't... I mean, Phil got heat when he said he doesn't have to sell you a console, right? Or a type of console. It's like, we put our games on PC, Windows 10. You could enjoy the games there. They're bringing all their games to mobile. If you want to play on mobile or iPads, you can do it there. If you want to play it on old gen, you can do it. You want to play it on new gen, you can do it. It doesn't matter to them, you know. So it's just an entry point to get into the Xbox ecosystem. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like it's the fact that the thing we're talking about now is the name. I just feel like, okay, well, I guess this is like the best case scenario. Like if that's all you got to say is like, well, the name's bad, then you know you've done right.
I do have a quick question for you, Rand. Like when you first saw that box, did you think there's going to be an issue? Like the first time you saw it pop up, you know, the little mystery thing come up, and you saw, you know, the actual structure of the new.
No, because me and Dealer have been talking back and forth about, you know, because we both hear things from different people, right? And we'll like bounce ideas off to another. And me and him have been hearing for a long time that this system is insanely powerful, right? 12 terabyte, all the stuff that basically got leaked, we'd known for a long time. And we kept on coming back and be like, dude, how are they going to build a box for this? Like, you're talking about a system that's going to draw a lot of power, that's going to create a lot of heat. And it's just like, I don't know. And then when you see the box, you realize, oh, they did that for a reason. And then you listen to the GameSpot interview, and Phil was like, this is what we want to achieve. Build me a box. And that basically they said, this is what we need to make. Instead of trying to fit the components into a visually pleasing console, they're like, this is what you need for something that's not going to overheat it, that's going to have enough airflow and ventilation to, you know, get the heat out or whatever. So it made sense when I saw it.
And you know, when I first saw that, like, I didn't mind the way it looked, but I thought there'd be a lot of issues with a lot of other people. And for the most part, like in this community, in the industry, like I see very few people saying they don't like the design. Very few.
It is getting positive reception. I want to get a shout out, Clutch Band to 2 hours super chat. I don't know if we missed you, bro. No one was confused on Black Friday. Now where were they? Where are they? I want to get Solve, man, because again, Solve, you were with us live. I haven't had a chance to talk to you. You know what I'm saying? And I need your whole feel in this thing, and then I'm moving to King right after that. Like, the two Lords were missing that I didn't get a chance to really build with on this whole thing.
And what's funny is, like, when we were waiting, when we had those technical difficulties, I was asking them then because I haven't talked to them.
Ready for them hot takes.
I had to jump in the chat when I saw it, and the first thing I said, I mean, one of the first, when we were at E3 and we gave our like a post Xbox conference thoughts, the first thing we said was like, I think they dropped the ball. They didn't drop the mic, they didn't drop the ball. And the first thing I put in the chat after this was, that's how you drop the mic. That's what you do. You come out there, and I've always said E3 is the Super Bowl of gaming, right? The eyes of the gaming world are on E3. But at the same time, there is so much at E3 that if you're not a gamer that's interested in everything, you're probably not paying attention to everything. You're paying attention to the stuff you care about. The Game Awards is something that all of gaming at this point is watching because they want to see the reveals. They care less about the awards, but they definitely want to see the reveals. So it was the ideal place to do it. We just never thought about it because no one's ever done it.
All the talk with Death Stranding potentially winning Game of the Year brought even more people to see if it was going to happen.
The world burn, for sure. People want to see the world burn. For sure. If that went down, for sure. So it was the smartest move imaginable to do it then.
Was it a Phil Dominus move? Is that what we're saying, Soft?
It is the ultimate Phil Dominus move. You can see Keely's face, how he was excited that it didn't leak, and how he was just antsy to get to it, right? It was absolutely to me. My jaw dropped. And when I saw the box, I said, "This." I loved it from the beginning because it screams power. It screams like the industrial design. You look at it, and it's like. And the moment the name came up, it says Series X. I said, it gives them the opportunity to add whatever other letter to that moniker to the series, whatever. So I do believe Lockhart will be called Series S. That makes the most sense. I just think the box screams power. Listen, we need to give you what we're going to give you. We cannot put in a regular box. All right. And I think there's going to be a lot of talk about how the PlayStation looks when they finally do reveal it,
right?
And how that power compares,
right?
And and that goes into my feelings on the possibility of a $599 price point.
We'll get to it. Let me get.
And also just one
prophecy.
One brief thing too. The way it looks different, like it looks drastically different from all the other consoles. So it's like literally worst case scenario. How can you be confused?
And I was one of the ones last week that was talking about confusion with both of them out.
Right, you were on the confusion train.
I was on the confusion train, but I think this. That form factor, I mean, you have to be blind, right? You have to be blind. Not
Tower of Power,
right? And also the price point thing. Looking at it,
that's how I want you to promote this. gaming. Every time someone comes in there for this, I want you to say, "Oh, you want the Tower of Power?" Okay.
The Tower. Oh, that's
Tower.
already a moniker, sir.
I agree with Andrew.
Power
I do
Tower.
think that X, whatever the Lockhart is, will be
Right.
probably white. I think that makes sense to differentiate them. And I think that price point, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know if I think it's 6, and I don't know if that PS5 is doing this. I honestly don't. I think that Lockhart, I've always said the Lockhart is the most interesting aspect of this to me, because I think it's a console that's going to be a paragon of amazing sort of like engineering.
Right.
I think they're gonna get a lot of power out of that little box, and I think and to you for $400.
No doubt.
And I think the reason that the PlayStation might not be able to achieve this is because of the design, because they were willing to go out of the box and make it.
I don't know that PlayStation is willing to give you a big lumpy box.
That's what I'm saying. Like, because they're willing to go out against against, man, I forgot that. It's saying, whatever.
Yeah.
Against the grain. Because they're willing to do that, they might be able to give you a stronger box than PlayStation.
Interesting.
I don't know the design. That design ethos for PlayStation always been sleek. It's always been so. It'd be weird to see a big box from them.
That's not true.
No, but if you think about it, I said this at I think in my stream where I said if the PlayStation 5 is going to be remotely close in power to the Series X, then it's going to be an ugly console. It has to be, unless because like PlayStation make good looking small consoles, and I feel like Microsoft did the best they can do with like building around their power. Because usually when first new generation consoles come out, they typically big, right? Because they don't know, you know what I mean?
And then they slim down as the generation goes on.
Yeah. So I'm like, if the PlayStation, this is the last powerful PlayStation, was big. Right, it was the PS3. It was.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
I expected they either gonna make you look like that Swiffer Jet vacuum cleaner that they currently got as a dev kit, or it's gonna be something like similar. I don't see it being this.
The bedpan.
Yo, come on, hey, not like this, not like this, Edgar. But yo, look, I gotta get because the king, Your Highness. The people have been waiting. They have been asking the realm.
Let me get my popcorn.
When can we hear from the king? They said that you called it. They showed the pictures from past Game Awards with Phil Dominus Spencer in the center. And they want to know how you feel, and also how you feel about the Hellblade reveal. So Lord King, the floor is yours. Let's go.
I can't stand award shows. Right? All right. So when you start to look at the map, you start to look at the map of how everything is to go forward, right? And you got to look at how Phil was positioned from the beginning. So everything was climbing forward. He had to climb forward. And first and foremost, he said, okay, if we're going to be known as a 4K machine, it has to be 4K in every box, right? Even the weaker box. The weaker box was able to do 4K Blu-rays, right? The S.
Yes, the S. Yes.
So he was putting his stamp going along the way. The biggest stamp is Game Pass, because that is allowing you to make money without giving anything, honestly, like without giving anything physical. That's a magician. That's a trick, right? He's tricking you by giving you something, getting money back for something that normally that you would get physically. But now you're getting it, like in software. It's like
digital.
The cloud, right? The power of the cloud. So now that you got the cloud working, now they're moving on all cylinders. Let's go to E3. When we went to E3, we walked away from E3, and I shook his hand. I'm keep it real. He was like, "What did you think?" And I said, "This is not the time for me to talk to you about that."
I remember. I was there.
I was here to give you your shirt. I was here to to bend the knee to the leader in charge. Sometimes you may not have the same viewpoint as your leader. Sometimes you may want your leader to go for the jugular, but in knowing these powers, these laws, you have to understand you always move from a position of strength and not a position of weakness. So what he was setting up at E3, he was giving you the games that we have for this year coming. Get that. Right? Now, moving on to EXO 19. I thought that was a very solid EXO for the first time in a long time. I walked away from it like I was really pleased with the stuff that they had there. Not the majority of the stuff was for me, but the majority of the stuff that was there was good, fresh, and you see the direction, and it wasn't bogged down with all the same crap. What a good leader does is they remove all the bad talking points. He's been removing all the bad talking points. PlayStation can't talk about power. They no longer have 4K in the box. They do some dynamic stuff, right?
Oh my God, here we go.
So little by little, they have been taking away your complaints and your little gripes. Because if you don't think he's looking at Twitter and listening to you run your mouth, you've been poking the bear for so long.
Let's get it.
Now the bear got up and smacked the hell out of you at the Game Award.
Let's go.
All right, so when that happened, when that moment happened, I said, now's the time.
Wait, did you press the button? It was a go?
When I
Green
saw
light
it
on them dudes? Green light.
So what you're saying, King,
Execute
is hibernation's over. The bear's up and moving around.
I said, now they're gonna run duck and hide. Because my man is on his square. You ever saw Muhammad Ali when he's in his prime, when he was dancing, when he's boxing the brakes off of somebody and he's moving, he's pop, 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 pop. He was pop, pop, popping you. And you didn't get it at that moment, but when the Hellblade showed up, that's when he cracked your forehead and you fell to the floor and you had to bend that knee. This is the part where none of you guys got on my timeline and was talking to me.
Dudes was quiet.
Yeah, people were mad quiet. They were mad quiet.
Dudes was quiet on the
They're
Hellblade.
still quiet. They don't bother me.
And
They
was too
stay
much.
away from me.
They were on your face for like 3 days, like constantly. And the moment that video game awards, they're like, "Yo, I'm leaving. I'm out of here. I'm not coming back."
He did it in front of the world.
But you know what? You know what added insult to injury?
What did?
Jeff Keighley gave him that.
Yeah.
Because you know what came up right after that Hellblade trailer?
What, PlayStation Pro?
That PlayStation 4 Pro commercial.
Y'all savage. Y'all
To add to injury, after that they announced the launch title going to Epic Games Store up the PS5.
But King, let me tell me about that swag. Like, was the energy different? Because I felt the energy was different.
No, I would see. No. His energy is always the same. He always has that smirk of I'm finishing you off, but you just don't know it. Like you're being finished off. Like where's Reggie at right now? He in Honolulu someplace. All right, where's the other dudes at from Sony? Like they had interchangeable head to Hydra. Remember the Hydra?
He ain't even really tweeted.
He's been Godzilla in this Hydra. He's been taking Ghidorah down.
Was it last year where they had all 3 of them on stage and like just like my left and my right, both gone.
And they're gone.
So we said, Phil, this is the master plan now. The people who are compliant. That's what we doing, King. That's what we say.
All the people that's willing to play ball. And speaking of playing ball, we're gonna talk about that too. But all the people that's willing to play ball, you can stay.
I'm done. He gets an executive order.
And food is plentiful for you. See, when Phil went out on stage and stomped you, he curb stomped you because what he did was he put you in a position. Let me tell you what the 50 Laws of Power just did to you. He put you in a position to let you understand that now I'm dictating pace. You can't keep up. Financially, your pockets are weak. So I'm telling you, and this is the difference between somebody that's real and somebody that's fake. You claim you was the fastest, but you had to take that down, boo-boo. You had to take that down. You know what happened? Now, but if you go to Microsoft joint, fastest and most powerful. All right, but that's not being taken down.
I feel you. Shout out to Forte with this, but in the sake of fairness, the argument could be made that Phil may have bust early and allow PS5 now to recoup and try to counter. Like, what does Microsoft have to do for that? I mean, we know PS5 coming. We know it's comparable. Is the Lockhart the secret weapon to undercut them on price?
Do not
like,
doubt
how do they
Microsoft's marketing.
I agree, but we got
this last 3 months. Last 3 months, they have been on their ball. Everything that has been announced, they have been amazing on. Every time PlayStation announces something, they're already ready to go. Untitled Goose Game coming to PlayStation 4. Oh, you mean Game Pass next week?
They've been on their square this last 3 months. I give you that. But my question is, Did Microsoft bust early? We know Sony's petty, King.
Listen. If they're petty, they petty would have been announced already. They petty. They put Godfall out, and nobody heard it.
Sony usually really. Sony is usually.
Yeah.
Okay. Cognito King. Remember last week. You know what the narrative was? It was Scarlet dev kits aren't ready. They're behind.
Yes, that is true.
Devs are upset.
Yeah.
And now we don't.
And usually.
Yeah.
And usually Sony is extremely reactive. Like when Microsoft does something, they do something to kind of stop the cloud a little bit. Right. But Sony's been quiet.
Listen, shout out to Kevin Hart for giving me that. He wasn't ready. He was not ready. Like Sony said, they said what? they ain't got no gameplay though. And the only other time I've seen Sony this quiet, and it seems like they it's not that they're scared or anything. They're just they're terrified. They don't know what to say. Is when backwards compatibility was announced.
No, I understand that, but again, just for competitive nature,
we got to shout out the new member to the
realm.
Shout
out to the new member to the realm. Okay, all right, I see you. You know,
we got a $5.
We got a $5 super chat. Get that Soft.
Well, remember they
Soft, can you get that $5? I believe it's
Forte as a new member to the realm. Thank you so much, sir. And shout out to Keyup901 with the $5 super chat. Competition is good, and Microsoft, in my opinion, is hitting gamers in all fronts. First party, console power, cloud, and PC, they are everywhere.
No doubt.
One thing
about with the counter though, because
Sony's rebuff, because Sony came back real quick because you saw Godfall very fast, looking beautiful.
Yes.
And it said PlayStation 5 and PC.
Yes, it did.
So now you're doing what now? Now you're doing Microsoft moves? I want to know, where's the same energy for that game not being exclusive only to PlayStation 5?
And it's like I was talking to LordCognito, King. Could you not agree that Microsoft already had that phase where their fans, okay, stuff's coming to PC, we accept that. Now it seems like Sony has to go through that now.
Right.
Because it seems like, because
they lied to the consumer.
The first game that they announced officially on the PS5 is coming to Epic Game Store. I don't think that's a trend that's going to stop.
Shout out to Smitty
Please
Smith.
read that. Anchorman, please read that.
Anchorman, please get that super chat if you can, sir. Savage. They savage right now.
One second, I'll read a second.
Yes, please.
I gotta
you gotta read.
He said he'll get it in your second. But it's like I said,
right, here we go. Yeah, get it, egg.
Oh, I got it.
Say it in your Sidious voice.
Yes, please, Darth Sidious, please.
Bill Dominus executed Order 66.
I'm done. Not
Kill the Jedi.
Not like this.
Brosman says not Order 66.
Not like this. Hold on, but again, before I give it back, go ahead, Addict, and I got to get random a question.
But it's like I said, I'm not saying every game is going to come to PC, but it seems like right now, because obviously the whole Horizon Zero Dawn thing, now this new game is coming to PC, and it's going to be a launch title for the PlayStation 5. So if you see this trend continue, I feel like that might hurt them coming next year because their fans aren't used to that.
You know what I like the most about the reveal? Okay, because I really got to say what really shocked me. The biggest shock out of all of that, the reveal, not the power, not the form, not Phil on stage with the power shirt powering your dreams. None of that, because his shirts are always key. Watch his shirts. But the share button.
Yeah, I like that feature.
You made it a hot line. He's making it a hot song.
Not the takeover, King. Not the takeover. The God's over. God MC, Phil, Dominus over.
Let me tell you, man.
Shout out to the over 300 people. Definitely hit that like button if you don't know that's mine.
King, not the takeover, King.
Listen, it's the takeover. The wait's over. God MC, Phil over.
Ask you
no idea what's going on.
Oh man,
he basically turned PlayStation into Nas.
I want to give a shout out to one person. I want to give a shout out to one person. Jim Ryan.
Oh yeah.
So Jim, think of the children, Ryan. All these moves lately.
The compliant?
Yep. He has, as soon as he took over with PlayStation's
man.
messaging.
Listen.
He's going right in line with Phil Spencer said, all right, man. Yeah, I guess you were right, sir. We should let our PlayStation exclusives come on over to PC as well. Good, excellent, good idea. Cross-play with Minecraft. Okay.
It's amazing how quick things turn around. I like this Jim Ryan guy. I like this dude a lot.
Pump the brakes,
but
no, we ain't pumping anything. Jim Ryan is a good guy.
I want to say one thing too. To everyone this generation who has stuck it out.
Yep.
Where all these people who jumped in and they sat here and waited, mostly people on this panel and a lot of other people too, like people have been real consistent and have been keep their head down.
Man, I've been over here waiting for like positive 6 years to sell out, and I still haven't been able to yet. So
all these people being a positive influence in this community for Xbox and everybody else. No doubt. Thank you. And to the people who are now looking to flip back, we don't want you.
We don't want you.
Unless
we don't want you.
Wow.
We don't want you unless you are willing to keep up that same love for PlayStation 2.
Kid. I feel like that's something you would say, kid.
You got to keep up that same love.
Hey, that's what happens.
Because I don't want people to be disloyal zealots.
Listen, Anchor Man, I want you to understand, because I was going to say this. This was going to be my closing argument. My closing argument was going to be for all you frauds. All you frauds. That when it was good, that spit on the name.
We need some fraud alerts in the chat. Some fraud alerts in the chat. Let's go.
When you was telling people how you stopped, using Xbox and you switched over to different systems, stay there. Stay there. Stay right there.
I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that, King, because I firmly believe that if people can be awakened and have an enlightenment and say, like, you know what, having multiple systems is a good thing. Being a part of a larger gaming community is a good thing.
No doubt.
I firmly believe that people can come to that realization.
No doubt.
I don't want these people who completely flipped as, Xbox is great, PlayStation sucks, then switch to PlayStation's amazing, Xbox sucks. I don't want you coming back unless you're willing to disagree.
You know what's crazy? The flip. My thing is that's so astonishing is that they flipped at the end of the generation.
They flipped at the worst time.
Possible time.
300 in the chat. I gotta get this. Shout out to Brap, $2 super chat. PC Master Race, salute Lord. But Rand, I gotta get Rand. Rand is the voice of reason.
I want some fraud alerts.
Bring it down a second.
I want some fraud alerts in that chat for Brap.
Let me rock.
Brap know he coming back next week.
Salute Brap. Here's the deal. Now, Lord Rand, I gotta keep it fair, right? Obviously, Xbox Station is very excited. Feeling good. It was a good moment. It's a moment the generation I felt needed. They didn't have. But Ren, I need you to put it in perspective with the Sony counter. We know Sony's petty. We know they have not yet revealed the PlayStation 5. What do you think they can do to try to actually counteract this? Because we all know everybody got blindsided, including them. Like, what do you think is going through Sony right now? How can they combat this?
The Sony counterattack's coming.
Yes.
I don't know what it's going to be, but it's definitely going to... Like, Sony doesn't take a lot of this stuff.
I would say within 3 months, we'll see the Sony counterattack.
I think sooner than that. I think you'll see them... I think they're probably incredibly... I'm not going to say worried, but they're looking at probably the metrics of the announcement. They probably... And I'm not going to say they probably didn't know, because maybe Jeff Keighley offered the same deal to them. It kind of makes sense, and then they're probably like, no, we'll do it at our own show. But I'm expecting Sony. I'm expecting the gloves to come off.
That's what I'm talking about. Let's go.
And that's why I'm so happy that Xbox did what they did. Instead of all the we'll wait to this and wait to that, Phil Spencer just like, no, we're gonna surprise you. We only show games that are coming out super early. Nah, here's Hellblade. That's who knows when it's coming out, and here's Everwild and all that stuff. But no, I'm expecting Sony. I don't know what it's going to be. PlayStation 5 stuff, but I'm expecting Sony to basically not stay quiet for very long. Okay. Maybe Jim Ryan does another Wired article really soon. But no, I was kind of told to expect the Sony counterpunch.
Now here's the thing I want to jump into, because I get a chance to. Listen, I'm with y'all, right? I feel this is tremendous. Y'all know I've been extremely hard on Phil Dominus. You know what I'm saying? And to me, this was the love letter to the hardcore, right? A lot of people are saying pump the brakes, but there is a reason for us to be excited. There is a reason, the protocol was broken for the first time. Like I said, what we call it, Order 66. It was broken for the first time because we got a reveal early. We got the name, we've got the console, and then we got a demonstration of the power, right? And let's be real, that Hellblade, y'all, when you saw her face and them chants and that engine, it blew me away. And that's the game I wanted, you know what I'm saying, from Ninja Theory. No disrespect to...
Can I say something on Ninja Theory?
Let's go. Let's get it.
I actually read this today, that actually this game has been in development before Microsoft actually bought them. I mean, not sure if it was like a full-blown production, but they were thinking about it already. And so that tells me that this game is not like a proper Xbox Series X game. So I mean, I don't think we've seen like all from them yet.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. There's still stuff, you know what I'm saying, that we got to see. But again,
I will bring up. I think you are right. Clobriel pointed this out actually on Twitter. I think a couple days ago. Yeah. If you look at the bottom right-hand corner of all their trailers, when they showed off Bleeding Edge, you see 3 circles.
Yes.
Yeah. So it looks like there's 3 different projects.
Okay, no, fair enough. So again, it is what it is in reference to that. But again, just seeing that level, like Rand said, the graphical fidelity, the mature title, the single player, everything that, let's be real, Sony has done well this generation, right? And now finally Microsoft does that, right? So the question now I have is like, okay, we get it. We know Sony's going to come back. Do we think Lockhart, are they trying to position Lockhart to counter the counter, so to speak? Let me go back to Rand. That's what I wanted to ask you. Like, is Lockhart maybe their reason? Because let's be real, Microsoft always has that history of going first, right? And then Sony has the ability to counteract, like almost like Xbox in 2013. We know that Sony had the DRM in the box. We know that PlayStation 4 also had a camera. But when Microsoft went first, that allowed Sony to remove that stuff, get that stuff out, streamline them, bring the price down.
That single handle event cost Microsoft the whole
generation. Let's be real. It was a snowball downhill effect from that point on. So do you think, Rand, with the 2 SKU approach, is that possibly the counter to the counter?
Counter to the counter. I think that's just Microsoft's trying to position themselves as having both the power crown and the price crown. Because, and I know I've said this on Xbox too, and some people won't agree with me and some people will hate that I'm going to say this, but to be fair, I think PlayStation can get away with being more expensive and less powerful.
Yes.
They're a bigger brand.
Yeah. Yes.
And there's people seem to like that more. So I've always said Xbox needs as many feathers in their cap as they possibly can get. They need Series X to be more powerful, and they need a cheaper option to compete with the PlayStation. People won't like me saying that, and I know, and that's fine. But look, the price is going to be important. Price is the most important thing. Xbox, the DRM stuff wasn't a good look, but let's be honest, they lost because it was $100 more expensive than the Pro. And that basically is what it is. Now, as far as the price going forward, I've been saying this since Anaconda and Lockhart were rumored in 2018.
Let's get it.
I'm riding until I die. I'm going with it until the end. It's $299 Lockhart, $499 Series X.
Whoa.
I think that is what the prices you are looking at for next gen consoles. I've been thinking perhaps PlayStation.
That Lockhart's $299. That's crazy.
And then I've been thinking the PlayStation 5 for a long time was going to sit right in that Goldilocks zone at $400.
Wow.
But if that's just so, before all the spec leaks came out, I was told by people who know that basically. And I already had a couple PC guys come at me, but Madz might be able to back me up here or whatever. I was told that Series X was basically on par or close to a 2080 Ti, and that PlayStation 5 was basically a 2080, right? So if that's the case, then I would not be surprised if both the PlayStation 5 and Series X are 500. and then Lockhart will be $299, and then that will make Lockhart extremely, extremely important for next generation, because that is a price point that you normally don't see at a launch of a next gen.
Right.
Sure, like all of us here, we're gonna get the premium stuff. Like
now,
King will make fun of you if you don't get the premium system.
The
King
last
will be like,
$300 console that launched was the Xbox 360 arcade.
well, I mean, the Switch was $300, but I mean, that's not really a console. That's a handheld.
Really count anything with the Switch.
So Rand, like, I do have a quick question for you. In terms of marketing, do you think they'll heavily market both consoles equally, or you think they'll market Lockhart more than
Boogie
that?
said she doesn't believe that that the Lockhart will be available around launch too.
I mean, it's possible the Lockhart won't be available at launch. I
mean, it will be.
I mean, it's called Series X for a reason, because it implies there's more series coming. So for anybody out there or anybody in chat saying that Lockhart doesn't exist, you're wrong. It does. It's always existed. So wait for that to come out. And I think it's important for Microsoft to have that option out there. A $500 console for, I know people were like, well, and I just saw a Forbes article that I think somebody tweeted, is like, people pay $1,000 for phones. Why is it that people can't spend $600 for consoles? Like, phones are a necessity to everyday living.
I said that too, but I got killed, Red. They said it's not the same. It's not the it's a false equivalency. I was told that I was wrong.
People pay the money for the phones because it's something that you use in your everyday life. It's basically an extension of you. Consoles are still seen as kiddie to a certain extent, like gaming in general. So, and historically, really expensive systems have done terrible. A $600 PlayStation 3 almost sunk PlayStation. The most successful like video game brand was almost destroyed because they priced it too high. And Phil has already said, like, we are not going to be out on power or price, which leads me to believe they're not going to launch at $600. So I'm sticking with $299 for Lockhart, and I'm sticking with $499 for Anaconda. Or for Series X now, that's what it is. I don't know what anybody else thinks here, but
I'm glad you brought up the phones, because it's like, especially
back to All Access. Xbox All Access is going to be, I think, more important.
Oh, definitely.
Can I
the payment plan option?
Can I chip in?
Go ahead, Madz.
Yeah, I actually agree with Rand for two reasons, right? I mean, first of all, imagine Lockhart at 400. PlayStation 5 at 500,
right?
And Series X at 600.
Okay.
So now you've got on the market like two consoles, like Lockhart and PlayStation 5, that will probably have a similar CPU, similar storage, all the nice shiny technology and stuff. But Lockhart would be 3 times less powerful than PlayStation 5 and cost only $100.
Exactly.
See,
Madz is smart. He knows exactly the way I'm thinking too.
Yeah, it would be dead on arrival. I mean, at least from where I sit, right? I mean, it makes no sense. But if you're looking at console that is like Lockhart 300 and PlayStation 5 500. Well, $200 is a pretty nice, difference in price. So I think so. If Microsoft will be able to like make Lockhart, at $300, I can assure that they will be able to produce like or sell Anaconda at 500.
Interesting.
And another thing from like cost perspective,
right? Because
people think about like 12 teraflops and people say, oh, that's a lot of power, that's RTX 2080 Ti kind of level of performance. Because it is, right? Because 12 RDNA 2.0 teraflops, that's a lot of power, right? I mean, that's really RTX 2080 Ti level like close level of performance, right? But the thing is, like I said, the cost. I mean, RTX 2080 Ti is being produced on a completely different manufacturing process and that kind of stuff, right?
Right.
So, like I said, like today on the show, the cost of chip is dictated not by the performance or features per se, but these size of the actual chip.
We're talking 7 nanometer talk. Let's go.
Yeah, and basically, like a lot of people think, and even Digital Foundry recently said that they thought that next consoles, Xbox One. I keep mixing the
Series X,
the names. Yeah, Series X. They thought that is going to be around 10 teraflops. So did I, right?
Right.
But RT 5700 XT, which everyone keeps basically comparing these next gen consoles to, is very small chip. That's like 250 square millimeters chip, right?
Right.
Xbox One and Xbox One X chips, so both OG Xbox and Xbox One and Xbox One X chips are 360 square millimeters.
Right.
So if you're going to add additional like 20% compute units onto that, so you end up with like 300 square millimeters. Zen 2 chiplets, right? 8 cores is that we're talking about size of like around 75 square millimeters.
Right.
So even on a current 7 nanometers plus node, 7 nanometers node, we're talking about 380 square millimeters chip, which is literally pretty close to what Xbox One X offers right now.
So as a result,
do you really think that that kind of chip is going to be that much more
expensive to mass produce?
No. And another thing, last thing, is that we're talking about 7 nanometers process. But if they're going to use RDNA 2.0, which probably going to be produced on 7 nanometers plus EUV process, which is going to be even cheaper to produce because it's more simpler and that kind of stuff, right? And you will be able to pack more stuff onto it, right? Because of the higher density of transistors.
Right.
You may actually end up even with a smaller chip than that, which will make it even less expensive.
So as a result, the overall thing. Make the last point, and then I want to jump in.
Last, really. So the only really expensive thing in that box is going to be NVMe.
NVMe is not cheap. NVMe is not cheap.
So that's my only concern. But in terms of like chips and everything, it's not going to be that expensive.
Hey, Madz, I do have a question for you. Because I'm not the biggest. I know nothing about doing anything related to this. Because they've went with a bigger build, like they have more room. They don't have to really shrink any kind of hardware. Does that make it a little cheaper for them to manufacture these consoles too, or is it about the same anyway?
Probably yes, because like if you're going to stick a big fan on top of the actual. You probably don't need as sophisticated cooling system because there's going to be so. Yeah, I mean, Hovis is still going to be there because Hovis is actually a way of saving electricity, which obviously allows for like a better cooling anyway, right? But if you stick a huge fan on top of it, I mean, it's going to, it's you don't need to use as sophisticated cooling system as you probably would have to use in a smaller box, right? So obviously that they may actually save some money on it.
All right. So as a result,
we got to get to the super chat.
Yeah, I was about to say, get about it.
Before you guys do that, I got to dip out.
Okay.
But yeah, thanks for having me on the show.
No doubt, Egg. Appreciate you, brother.
So we got.
We don't want you back if you're not gonna keep that same energy. So.
Oh my God! Go. You make sure you get to retail.
Allowing you to come back. I want the door slammed on your head.
If I play on PC once for a while, am I allowed to buy?
No. You just got to keep that same energy, your love for PC all the way through.
Make sure you hit the retail and unconfuse people about the Series X.
Yeah.
All right, so we got a $5 super chat from Brat. Forte, I am still in the Xbox ecosystem. Never left. Just the box. Phil did that, and it was awesome. He did. Hashtag
right.
Mad love for Addict in the panel.
Hold on. Let me.
Who did that for you up in there?
Go ahead and get the rest of the super chat before
we need some fraud alerts and some who did that for you in the chat. So we got a $2 super chat from California Kid. Those 3 dots are the loading screen. It's that fast. I assume he's talking. I don't know what he's talking about.
3 dots of Ninja Theories on the trailers. Continue.
All right, so we got a $2 super chat from Easy Shock. Lockhart will have the biggest selling port, SSD.
SSD is huge. SSD is huge. Go ahead, Forte. You wanted to address something?
I apologize. It took us so long to get to this.
Sorry.
No. All right, so if Brap's still there and didn't fall asleep on a couch somewhere, let me rap to you for a second, bro.
Oh,
I was the one that told you about that PC a year ago, and it took you this long to come join me and the great Cognito over on Destiny at 60 frames per second.
Hey, I'm over here too. Why do I get some shots?
And Lord Addict, I'm sorry, you're right, and Lord Addict. But guess what? I didn't give and put my Xbox One X in the kiddie room to let my kids play with it. I still log into my Xbox every day and play Destiny on my Xbox every day and do all those great things and did it happily. But you, on the other hand, completely abandoned us and went to the PC master race, and you act like you've been there for 20 years.
He acted brand new over there.
So I'm gonna need you to keep that same energy when this new Xbox
release. What you're saying, Game Forte, is we need some fraudulence in that chat. Let's go. Let's get some fraudulence.
He need to be on a fraud alert. He needs police at his house. He need everything there because he's fraud right now. He know he gonna get that system day one because he gonna come on YouTube. He gonna be looking at people unboxing in it. He gonna want to unbox his own because he want to do the one hand.
You know what the key thing he's gonna use to get away with all this? I'm a content creator. I have to cover it. I have to own it.
Y'all gonna leave Brap alone, Derek. Real quick price. We gotta get the price. Then we gotta move on to the next topic. I need Forte. I need that price where you think that's at. Shout out to Brap with $2. He said, "How's that Spider-Man, Forte?" And then I said, "I need you."
How's that platinum on that God of War?
Ooh, shots. So I would need price point, man. We got to get the price point. We got to move on.
Man. So a lot of compelling things we're talking. I am king lord of that $600 price tag.
Okay.
That's what I just believe it's going to come in at. But the one thing I will acquiesce on that is Microsoft they have shown the epitome of willingness to underprice stuff. Yeah. I mean, the fact that they keep giving us services like Game Pass consistently for the price that they're doing it lets us know that the money isn't the issue. So I can see this system coming at 500 if they're willing to lose a little money on the back end, on the front end to get more people in on the back end.
Right.
But that's the only way I see it hitting that price point. But I just see when I look at this, and I'm trying to take my PC hat off because being a PC gamer, it's kind of hard to equate what PC is versus consoles and how that architecture comes together and the price points that they can actually do it at, because they are mass producing these on a very, very large scale, and that does bring costs down. I just feel like for me, the stuff that they're talking about this system doing with NVMEs in it, and we're talking about Navi 2nd gen, we're talking about
hardware
RDNA,
ray tracing.
We're talking about ray tracing. We're talking all that stuff, and we're talking about graphics cards that bring games to their knees on PC. I'm just saying, $600 is just that. It feels like that is the ceiling it should be at.
Right.
But trust me, I would love a $500 system.
Okay. Fair.
Don't let this man lie to you. He was talking about an $800 system last night.
He said to us he'd be willing to pay.
I said, no, that's a completely different discussion right there. Is what you're willing to pay, what it's going to be. I'm willing to pay $800 because I feel like if that system is worth it, I feel like I'm going to get the benefits of that. I want to have a PC-like experience on my console without all the PC problems that I have. And if they at an $800 price tag, I'll buy it. Guess what? If they do it at $500, even better. It'll make it easier for me to go out and buy a PlayStation 5 on launch, buy all the launch games they got on launch, get Game Pass or whatever else I need. I already have that through the next 2 or 3 years because of Mr.
Tell them about it.
I got all that already.
What issue on PC you've got? I mean, there's no issues on PC.
No. Shut up. Anybody to tell you that is fraud. That's
Hold on. Madz is updating right now. Hold on.
But no, I think. No, but I think that's the biggest thing. I think it just really comes down to if Microsoft continues what they're doing now, because this is basically the floor now. This is the minimum expectations I have from Microsoft when it comes to the way that they're communicating, the way that they're talking about their marketing, the way that they're bringing out these overall experiences and how they're going to talk about them. I want to see more of this going forward.
I agree.
And I'm 100% back in. I will be there day one to pick up this system, and it's all in Sony's court. And basically, realistically, I think Sony is going to surprise us just like everybody else. Now the counter, it could be that Lockhart, it could be the price point, it could be all those things in general. But I just think Microsoft right now is 66% of the way to the win. That 33% or 34% more is the content that they bring to the platform. Absolutely. If they can knock if they can knock that part out, they win power, they win price, they win games, they win the generation. Even if they don't win the generation when it comes to total sales because they're not available in all countries, we all know it's just perception at that point. If Xbox is on everybody's mind in a positive manner and not like this negative conversation we had through this whole generation when it came to Xbox, Microsoft wins. They don't have to win in sales to win in our minds.
Okay, fair enough. Look, KidSmove, man, I need your price point, man.
I'm with Forte. I've been leaning towards $600, especially after seeing it. I feel like if they're gonna do a console like the 2 race, they can get away with, like, how can I say this? I feel like the market conditions for gaming, what consumers are willing to spend on high-end electronics and smart devices has gone up. You know, it's not like 2006 and $600 for a console in 2006 was asinine, but $600 for a console in 2020 probably not that bad, honestly. So when you think about what things costed us back in 2006, rent wasn't as high in 2006. Like, you know what I mean? Like all sorts of things that we would buy. Like when you would walk into a store, like, man, I can't like, you know, push $600 given the stuff that I got to pay for outside of like gaming. So that's why whereas nowadays rent is much higher. The capacity for things that we're buying nowadays is higher. iPads, tablets, phones,
my gas is
Alexa's back, Alexa's gas, rent, everything is higher. So it's like, I feel like the reaction wouldn't be that crazy, especially when you have multiple devices. Now, if it's $500, fine, but my ceiling on a console for me personally is $600. I would be fine buying the Series X for $600 because I'm only going to be spending plus taxes. What you say, $25 in taxes, and then $10 for Game Pass. I'm good.
So if it's 6, kid, then where you got Lockhart? If you have 6,
that's where. All right, so Lockhart, Rand, I think $299 would be lovely, but I say it would be $399 because I firmly believe that the PlayStation 5 will be $499.
All right.
Well, here's the thing. This is why I find the $599 for Series X and the $399 for Lockhart. You don't
subscribe.
I don't subscribe that because who's to say Sony doesn't just come in with PS5 at $399?
That would be a
$100 loss. And then there goes the entire generation for Microsoft.
That would be the counter.
Can you imagine if Sony comes in with a system almost as powerful as Series X, but price it's the same as the cheap Lockhart? That's what I'm saying. Like, I look at that, I'm like, nah, man. Like, they need to make sure that Lockhart is way cheaper than any the $200 off, or the price difference needs to represent, you know, how much better the other system is, right? But when you start pricing it higher, so if you're pricing Lockhart at $400, you don't really know what your competition does. Like, you have a clue, but maybe they're willing to lose money on it, and then they announce. You can imagine Microsoft at E3 be like, "We got Series X at $599, and maybe they sell it really good and it looks amazing. Okay, yeah, I'll pay $600 for that. Oh, we got Lockhart at $399, and then the next day, because Sony will go after, and they're like, the PS5 is just as good as Series X, and it's $399, which is the same as the Bunko Xbox series. You know, that is this basic doom right there.
That's why I don't think anything was said about the Lockhart.
Well, that's what I agree with Rand at that point. That's the main reason why I don't think the Lockhart even came up. I don't think the Lockhart's going to come up at E3 until they actually know what Sony's going to do. I subscribe down to that $299 for that Lockhart because it has to be a price disparity between the X and the Series S.
At the end of the day, even if it comes in at $299 and $499 or $599, I think, like I said last night, I think Microsoft's about to take a loss on both consoles.
Microsoft's going to take a loss. They're either going to take a loss on the X.
No, I think they're doing both.
Well, they might, but well, they don't really have to if they meet price with the X. If the X ends up being the same price as a 5, that means they're going to eat the price there because I think it's going to be a more powerful system. Then they're just going to price the S at a way lower price, like $200 cheaper to show the price.
Well, I think if they price it $200 cheaper, I think they're taking a loss there too. Like,
they might be more willing to take a hit on both, but especially the Lockhart, because if the rumors are true and it doesn't have a disk drive, right, to cut out costs, that means as a company that anybody who is buying software for your system is doing it all digitally, which means they're buying from your store, so you're getting a better percentage. And then more than likely, they're also going to be subscribing to Game Pass. Right. So they might be really willing to get that system as cheap as possible, so they can, because they know that customer is going to be locked into the ecosystem with digital games and subscriptions and stuff.
Yeah. Because the question I have for you is, don't you think, Rand, they would be even emboldened to really be aggressive with the Lockhart price, especially recently with the success of the SAD/Sade in UK, right?
Well, yeah. The SAD could always have done well. It was priced way too terribly. It was $250. Nobody wants it for that price. But you start talking about $150. Exactly. 99. That's impulse buy. It's like, okay, no problem.
So what that proved to me, for the fact that they outsold the Switch and the PlayStation in UK with a system that, let's be honest,
especially in the UK,
my opinion was, I thought casuals would never flock to a diskless system. But it goes to show you, right? If the price point is low enough and people will go after it. So I'm actually with you on that, Rand. The question I have for you, I'm going to bring it back, is back to Lockhart again. And Forte's got me thinking about something with E3. Again, E3 is the gamesmanship, right? Sunday is Microsoft's day. Most likely, if Sony's going to be there this year, Monday might be their day, right? So is there a scenario where you think that Lockhart's price could not be revealed, right?
No.
So you think they have to show both SKUs at E3 on that Sunday?
Or before?
I don't think they have to.
I don't think they have to.
I personally
I think if anything, they're going to do it after E3.
I think Lockhart...
Yeah, I think E3 is going to be all about the X. I think they're going to show all they don't want to have mixed messaging on that stage.
So it's going to be one message.
They're going to be one presentation around that X, and they're going to say these are the games that's coming to our next gen system, our next gen high end system. Not even going to talk about the other system until they know what the floor is for PlayStation.
I mean, now you got to think about it. They have to. There's going to be a rollout. They're not going to hide Lockhart for that long. When the Series X release date and pricing is available, we will find about Series S pricing available. I don't think they're going to hold on just to wait until.
Here's the question: do they do it at E3 or do they do it at an event? Like,
whatever event that they will reveal the price and release date, that's when they're going to do it. So whether that be May or June,
I got a question for Rand. Rand, in your personal opinion, do you think that they would wait till E3 to reveal the everything else, or do you think they do their own event?
How do you think they handle Lockhart with the reveals of both SKUs? Just guessing. We out here playing.
I've always thought like next year would have a reveal event for PlayStation. February, and then Microsoft would reveal their system in like March or something like that. Right. Yeah. But them doing it at the VGAs, I'm not so sure they're gonna have a reveal event anymore.
Exactly,
because they don't necessarily they revealed the console. You know exactly what it looks like. You know the name.
But to be fair,
and the same goes for PlayStation.
To be fair.
I think they reveal price. I think they reveal price beforehand. Why? Because if they already know that Xbox is coming with 2 SKUs, right? So automatically you're already sandwiched in there, right? It doesn't. What does it matter to bring the price to now, right? Announce the price when you reveal the system. I say
it does. It does matter
to PlayStation.
Yeah.
To be fair, PlayStation, like they only have one console to reveal. Like I feel like what makes sense is they wait for the PlayStation console reveal, and then they do a Lockhart console reveal.
I don't know. I never finished though.
This is coming from a lot of beat up guys. I'm hearing a lot of beat up guys. Like the fear, you know, they're coming. They're out here. The White Walkers, and I'm telling you.
But kid,
feeling scared about you. He got that
if
dragon
they come in at 4, that's a blow.
Listen. Rand is right. All right, and the more I sit down and I think about it, is a classic pincer attack. Deaf Singer, you understand what pincer is because we do it in PUBG all the time. It's a classic pincer attack. You get the enemy in the middle and you squeeze them from both ends. Now, you might not have full firepower at one side, but you do have enough of a distraction on one end that the full firepower is coming from the other angle. And then once you get the headshot, boom, you take them out. Facts. So you have the Lockhart. That's your little trump, right? That's your little ace in the hole. This is what you're holding right here, just in case dudes act out of pocket. So if they say something,
God.
Oh,
That's
God.
the biggest
Brap.
color I think Brap's ever
Lord.
done.
Shout out to
is
Brap.
on this. Yeah,
$50
let's get
super
it.
chat. Happy holidays, everyone. Great topics and conversation. Do we think a discless, digital-only Xbox appeal to the mass market? Console is split between physical and digital purchases. More recently, we have seen an increase in physical sales.
Okay,
No,
Brad.
no, we didn't.
Let me answer.
If you want physical
Let me
media,
answer.
we got a console for you.
Listen. Let me finish this point, and then we're gonna let
finish.
Forte answer that because this is Forte's expertise.
Yeah, that's Forte's expertise.
All right. So when we're using the Lockhart, that's the ace in the hole, right? This is the enigma in the room. Is the elephant sitting in the corner waiting for you to act up and set price? So when you set price, I don't think Microsoft has to set price until probably in the middle of the week of E3. We know they can show games. They have the FanFest event going on. They're going to show games. They're going to show the system on deck. They will wait for Sony to jump out the window first. Once they jump out the window first, and I believe Sony's going to come in at 400, 399, 400. Maybe that might be their sweet spot. But then you got to look at their stocks to see if they're able to swallow that loss, because it will be a loss on each system. So if you're saying that this system is only probably 20 to 30% more powerful than the PlayStation 5, which I don't think that will cut it. Okay, I don't think that will cut it. It must be a little bit more higher, probably 40% more powerful than the PlayStation. I think Microsoft meets them at price. All right, so I think the price of the PlayStation has to be $499 for them to turn a profit, right? And like Rand said, they have a bigger brand and they can sell at a higher price point. They can get a more a bigger chunk of their money back. Microsoft will have to sell at a loss, and they will have to meet them at price points. You're not going to beat them at price, but to undercut, to get the guys that are coming in with the cheap pockets, right? Cheap pockets, guys.
Way to call me out, man.
Cheap pocket guy.
No. Listen, the reason why the PlayStation sold the last generation, even the fact that it was more powerful, it was cheaper.
Yeah. Facts.
It's cheaper. Yeah.
You know, $100 is a lot.
And I think
somebody said that they're going to go inside the store. They're going to buy a Series X, and they're going to get Game Pass.
Right.
You see, they walk away with all the launch titles right there.
Right.
With the system and extra games. When you go in to buy a PlayStation, you have to buy a PlayStation, you have to buy extra games, you have to buy a controller. So your overall purchase is going to turn into something astronomical when the overall purchase for Microsoft is going to be at a different rate. So I believe that the pincer attack will definitely be in. I do not believe that they're going to announce Lockhart's price point, but I do believe everything that Rand is saying is spot on.
All right, Forte answer. I gotta get Forte to answer Brap with the digital, physical, then Rand and Addict, and then we move on.
When it comes to that, I think the biggest thing to realize is the X. I mean, not the X, but the SAT edition, the all digital version.
Yes.
It will. Rand is right. It would have always done well. The price point is what basically murdered that system when it first came out, because I can't give exact numbers, but we had a substantial amount of those systems at the beginning of this month, and no store in my region has any of them. So if it wasn't for the fact that the PlayStation 5 was with 3 games was selling for $199, I honestly, the PS4, sorry. If it wasn't for that, I think Xbox could have easily probably won this gen, not this gen, but this month in MPD, if they actually, if that wasn't a thing with the PlayStation. So I think the system can definitely work. People do not mind buying their digital games because they already do it.
Right.
But we had quite a few of those digital systems, more than I thought we were going to carry.
Right.
And we sold out of them literally the week that they launched at that 150 price point.
Wow.
Yep.
They was
Everywhere.
out there. Wow. Shout out
We
to
got
Jonathan
2
B.
super chats.
Yeah, shout out to Jonathan B with the file super chat. Did
No,
everyone...
we got one before him.
Yeah,
Soundwave
Soundwave.
one.
Yeah, Soundwave.
Yeah.
Shout out to Soundwave with the $2 super chat. Thanks, King. Xbox Series X has a disc drive. That was shocking.
Well, that doesn't really shock me because they
That
want
doesn't
that
shock me.
premium 4K Blu-ray in there because they want to be able to really sell that
Absolutely.
with the premium blue.
Yo, Solve, you want to get Jonathan B?
Shout out to Jonathan B with the $5 super chat. Did everyone get hit with the scarecrow fear toxin while I was sleeping? Why are people so shook by the Series X? Hashtag Senua's teeth though. Yeah, them teeth.
Yo, so we got
Teeth give me nightmares,
no
man.
doubt. Addict, Solve. You got a need job, man.
Well, at the end of the day, when it comes to the sale, I'm going to keep this short, sweet.
Yeah.
I think I used to think that the console would be $599 and the lock card be $399, but Rand won me over a little bit, man. I think the Endicon is going to be $499 and the lock card. I still think the lock card is going to be $399.
That is the worst thing they could like. That was the other thing I was going to bring up.
Get it.
Like they cannot do their normal pricing structure of X $499, Lockhart $399.
And to be honest,
why not, Ram? Why not, Ram? I'm curious.
Because
they can easily just drop 100 and completely destroy the whole plan.
The thing is, if the Lockhart is $399 and it's considerably weaker than the PS5, and the PS5 comes in at $399, you got a problem.
It's done.
You have a problem.
It's right.
Yeah, and there's just like I don't know.
If they're willing,
okay, let Ram get off.
well, it's like because you already tried. You did that with the 360. You had 2 SKUs, and it was $100 difference. But the only difference was the 20 gig hard drive. Even the PS3 did that as well.
Right, yes, 2 SKUs.
And even though there was a $499 PlayStation, what did people always say? It's $599, right? Because it doesn't matter. The $100 isn't really that much off for a lot of people, especially that high when you're talking about 500 to 400.
Right.
So to me, if you're trying to demonstrate how much more powerful Series X is, then Lockhart has to be priced accordingly.
Right.
And $100 difference isn't that.
No.
Right.
A $200 difference, though, you start looking at that, man.
If they're willing to take that kind of loss, like I think, especially like you said, especially if it has no disk drive, and I think one of the biggest factors that they have coming in this gen that they didn't have last gen is I think Game Pass is going to come full effect with next gen.
Well, that's the thing. I think they're making money hand over fist with Game Pass, so they worry less about. They don't care. I was in a Reset Era thread where they were asking people, "What do you think about the Series X?" And so many people in the thread were like, I have Game Pass on PC. I'm good. It looks cool, but I don't need it." And I think Phil is fine with that. They're fine.
Oh yeah. Who did that for you? Yeah, who did that for you? Like this is the part where you understand the genius behind all the moves. Before it was looking haphazard, it wasn't looking put together. The puzzle is forming now. So no matter where you go, you're gonna be in that Game Pass ecosystem. When you're walking down the street and you're having your phone and you're doing xCloud, you're in the ecosystem. When you're playing on your X, when you're playing on your S, when you're playing on your Series X, when you're playing on your Series S, you're in this ecosystem. When you're on your PC, brat, you are on the ecosystem.
And another thing you got to remember is, with Game Pass, guaranteed you're getting at least a month to 3 months of Game Pass in the box, right? Yeah. So now you're talking about you getting your system with launch titles in the box.
And not to mention,
that's craziness
in the box.
And what I want to point out is, like, at the beginning of the gen, obviously you have the backwards compatible games, but they'll go into a lot of people that came, especially if they go from PS4 to Xbox where they don't have a whole lot of games. They won't have any games, but that Game Pass chances are because how, appealing that Game Pass looks. So there's a good chance that they'll pick up like the 2K and they'll just keep the Game Pass.
But you think about it. You get that Game Pass and you're gonna be playing Sea of Thieves.
That's not what the millions to be focused on.
The millions is not going over there to play Sea of Thieves.
Listen. The millions is playing Sea of Thieves. And I done proved it right. Put that millions in that chat. The millions is playing that Sea of Thieves, baby.
Oh my God. I hope that's not a price point. But look, go ahead, Saul. Finish off. I gotta jump in there.
I mean, I've been the proponent of that 600 because I just thought, but to be honest, like hearing all these different opinions today, I agree with Rand. Like if you go 6 and Sony's willing to take that L and they give you something that's less powerful, but not super less powerful at $400 price point, you're in trouble.
And notice that at the VGA, they didn't talk about price for a reason.
Right.
Yeah. So I agree. I think
You're not talking about price a year early, though.
Yeah, that's not even a thing.
Yeah.
Well,
You know, Phil's
a lot
just
of the
out
times,
there to understand, to let people understand where he at with it.
well, no, what I'm saying is usually they like let us see one or not the other.
Right.
Like they let us see not only what it looked like, what it was called, like way before they normally do that.
Right. No, it's interesting, man. I mean, finish up, Sal.
it's 5. I think it's 5, and I do think Lockhart is 3.
All right, it's gonna be interesting, but you guys make compelling points. I think.
Can I add one more thing?
Oh, please
Cognito?
do, Rand. Go ahead, go for it.
Also, like when we're talking about taking a loss or whatever, you got to also keep in mind that the systems aren't just the systems, right? They serve another purpose.
Right.
They're going to put Lockhart into the cloud,
Yes.
direct cloud.
Yes.
So it's like Microsoft wants to sell it for $299 or whatever and take a loss and be like, well, maybe they will, but then you also got to realize that they're going to be putting Lockhart into the cloud so people can play those games everywhere. So it's not like it serves more than one function is basically what I'm getting across.
No, yeah, you're right.
And I don't think they'll actually put Series X into the cloud until much later. They'll do Lockhart first.
Yes.
For like the 1440p 60 frame stuff and stuff and stuff like that. But yeah, that's we haven't mentioned it because nobody's really thinking X Cloud.
Right.
But when you're Microsoft and you're thinking about what you're going to use these systems for and all the R&D money you're putting in it, you'd be like, you know, when you're going to Satya and you're going to Amy Hood and you're asking for money and they're going to be like, okay, what's your plan? You know, you got to have all this stuff basically, you know, ready to go. So it's like, yeah, they're also going to put it into the cloud, which helps mitigate some of the price because they hope, you know, they hope game streaming is going to be big eventually down the road, and they want to dominate that area.
Yo, shout out to the Lala HD. She said, "Red about to be muted out here giving it up." That's what she.
Last thing on that thing, if I may. Just like around actually said that it's going to be used in the cloud, but you need to remember that Phil did say that it's going to be used for streaming, which we know or knew about already.
Right.
But also, I remember him a couple of months ago saying that these blades, these next generation blades, going to be used only for productive purposes. So meaning that if you are a company that are dealing with some AI calculations and stuff, you go to Microsoft, they will be using Lockhart or Anaconda blades to actually make money off of these companies. And they are paying a lot of money.
Shout out
so
to
they can
Yeah,
so they can swallow a little bit of loss on these blades, I think.
No, yes, guys are celebrating. Shout out to Muhammad Diallo with the $35. I don't know what's the our country code. I gotta learn that. Microsoft ain't playing this time. Sony goes 400. Microsoft goes 400 with Series X. Game Pass will take care of the rest. Look, this is interesting, but it's really exciting. I can't front, man. I think initially coming in, I was on a little higher price point than all you guys.
South African Rand.
South African. Oh, salute. Our brothers from South African Rand. That's what's up, man. Yeah, like I think I came in a little high, but listening to Madz when he talks, from a manufacturing and a production standpoint, how things can be much cheaper, things can be mitigated in that respect. Oh my God! Shout out to Double Boom in the building. $20 support. Here's the support for Mr. and Mrs. Boomstick. Happy holidays, brother. Thank you so much, brother. Love this brother, man. Good guy. And when you hear that from the manufacturing standpoint, then you hear Rand, and Rand makes compelling arguments, which is, look, they can't afford obviously to lose the power.
It does. He changed my opinion. That's for sure.
And coming in, making this thing an attractive option with PlayStation there. I was of the mindset initially that when the Xbox One X dropped, that they were emboldened with the $500 price point because I'll be honest, Rand, and I think, we said it around the Xbox, the Project Scorpio reveal. I was like, damn, if they go 500, that's a mistake. And let's be real, they kind of proved me wrong because it was like they sold so well at that price, but people were willing to pay for the premium product at that time. However, stakes are different. You know what I mean? Sony is coming. They have to have a compelling attack. And this is where I kind of side with King. With King and his famous pincer attack, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to the pincer, which is, you kind of got to get it from both sides. You know what I'm saying? You got to have to let them know, okay, if we have our bigger box here, you know what I'm saying? The price has to be kind of equal level, and not that much more expensive. Also, the Lockhart has to undercut them. So that's where I'm at. Look, if we could get 300 and 500 for 2 SKUs, that's super impressive. I hope so. I mean,
and to be honest, that sounds like unrealistic. Like thinking about it, but if it happens,
I guess my only question I'll send back to Rand and Madz. I see where y'all going with Series X and Anaconda. I just struggle with the 300 for Lockhart only because, we know the Series S most likely, the Lockhart, is in that space, about a little bit slightly above that space of where the Xbox One X is, right? So if that is the case, and if it's 300 like you guys think it may be, you just think the Xbox One X is completely phased out that quickly?
Yeah,
I've been saying
why
that.
Would, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, why would they have it? Like it's.
But
people.
Okay. My challenge
people
to you,
have said. When I've said that on Twitter, people will be like, "Oh, are they really going to discontinue the X after only 3 years?" I'd be like, "Well, they discontinued the OG Xbox One after 3 years." Like the Lockhart, like people get confused when they say Lockhart is 4 teraflops because they look at the X and see 6.
Oh yeah,
problem
well,
is,
break it down. That's GCNN and RDNA. Yeah, break it down.
And Madz can tell me if I'm right. Lockhart's 4 teraflop RDNA. The X is 6 teraflop Polaris, which is GCN. The Lockhart GPU is basically more efficient than the X's, and the power level is basically the same. But then Lockhart's also going to have the next gen CPU Zen 2. It's going to have the NVMe SSD. It's going to probably have the same amount of RAM, but like GDDR6. So it's like. It's a much better console in every way. Like it'll run circles around the X.
Absolutely. The days of the teraflop measuring is over. They're not going to use that metric essentially. Yeah.
So it doesn't make sense for Microsoft to have that console on the market. And considering the like, if you look at the MSRP right now on the X, it's still $500.
Yeah, it's a wrap.
So it's like, to me, that just says, okay, you have Series X. They chose that name for a reason. You have this cheaper one coming. They're just going to be like, stop production on the Xbox One X. We're done with that. They'll still make the cheaper S, $199, $150 for the SAD, because there are going to be people that want to, still buy the older gen consoles because of the price. But yeah, that's what I think is going to happen.
So even before I get into mine, even with the whole messaging mantra of bringing all your devices, they're making this whole inclusive kumbaya marketing that no one's getting left behind. You can use your old device with your new device. Even with that, you still say, based on the length of the time the X has been on the market, the Xbox One X, that it is time that they will face.
I'm not saying they're going to stop supporting the X. I'm just saying they're going to stop making it and selling it. Obviously, they're going to support the X for years and years. I mean,
they supported the 360 till like forever.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on what they consider to be their baseline now. Like, what if they repackage the X as the new baseline?
Nah,
literally repackage it. Take out.
I don't think they're going to.
There's no need for that.
No, Rand might be selling me, man. Rand might be selling me, but look, Madz, you gonna say something real quick, and then it sounds like you're going to say something. Are you good?
Yeah, I mean, actually, Rand actually stole my point, because I just wanted to say that, the fact that they're going to stop producing the console doesn't necessarily mean that they won't. They would also stop supporting, and I think that people actually confuse that.
No, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah,
Rand's making a good point.
That's it.
Shout out to 6A with the file super chat. Lockhart will be $299 or less, and it's fine with Microsoft since it's likely using chips that didn't pass muster to run in the Anaconda. They're recouping money. And then, Sav, you want to get Lord Zero, the OG, Lord Zero ILP.
With the $10 super chat. Here's a little for the Lords and my brothers for the holidays. Great crew on the show today. Exciting time for gaming now. And I'm just happy Devil May Cry won active game at
Devil May Cry. Shout out to him. He's got a great article up on Lords Gaming.net. Look, we got to move on. But, Rand, Madz, you guys are definitely selling me. You may be on to something. If they hit those 2 price points, wow, Wow. That would be tremendous. So we're gonna please do these two in a combo topic because we gotta get there soon. Lord Addict, I know me and you were talking about we got the Undead Lab announcement, and then we also got MLB The Show. So I'll breeze through the Undead Labs, right? So shout out to those dudes at Undead. Shout out to Jeff Strain. Looks like they just made an announcement recently, and they were talking about the studio head and founder Jeff Strain starting a new initiative. And basically, he said that their game development needs a bigger base, and they talk about him being a small-time guy, I guess from New Orleans. And they say with the support of Xbox and Microsoft, Jeff's going to continue his role as a studio head at Undead Labs while also building opportunities to bring in people who might otherwise consider a career in the game industry. Maybe even someone with the vision of the next State of Decay is out there waiting for the right opportunity. That's all we can say right now, but we will share more information as soon as we can. So it feels like Undead Labs is expanding. And shout out to the good people of Undead Lab. We actually met with them at PAX, and great team. So it's good to hear this stuff. So I want to bring this to Rand. Rand might know what's going on. Rand, like, do you feel? I got to get Rand. I got to get that
Rand
inside.
knows everything.
Rand knows. Hashtag Rand knows. You know what I'm saying? So do you feel with this announcement, they are looking at other initiatives similar to like a Ninja Theory and bigger game? What does this mean, Rand?
I honestly have no clue. I honestly don't know. I asked Jez the same thing last night, and he said, what was his exact words to me? Let me check the DMs. Secret DMs between me and Mr. Jez Corden, senior editor, right? Senior editor.
Windows Central. Yo, Gotti, this situation. Let's go.
Let's see. What did he say? God, we talk so much in these DMs, I can't even find it.
You find it. It's cool.
I don't. I mean, I think he's just trying to maybe like find some people who maybe weren't given the opportunities or didn't have the opportunities to become game developers. It doesn't actually sound like it's a new studio, like the Initiative is a new studio, or like the other studio that Playground built to make their open world RPG. It seems more like an initiative to kind of help people become game developers.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
That's what it feels.
That's what I thought. That's kind of what Jez was.
It's just an
telling me.
open mic for you to go spit your new bars.
Yeah.
To get over. So, but here's the thing. And shout out to Dizzy that Jez said it. He said, it seems like they're the only Microsoft studio right now that has like one franchise, right? We don't hear about an additional project other than State of Decay from Undead Labs. So you don't think that, do you think that there is possibility of multiple projects, or everything is all hands on deck for the next State of Decay 3 or what have you?
I think they're all hands on deck for State of Decay 3.
Yeah, I think the reason that this was mainly done is they wanted to be able to open up more talent, and the only way they can do that is to be in another region.
Okay. Yeah, get out of New Orleans. Shout out to KidSmove. I know, Kid, you also had the great Lords of Undead on Planet Xbox before. You had them boys out there. So, what do you think, man? What's your feeling on this whole announcement?
I thought they were just. I thought he was. It seemed like it's still related to Undead Labs and State of Decay, since I think it was geared towards like I think State of Decay development. Right. At first, when I read it, I was like, all right, this is their second studio. Because remember, a lot of these studios that got purchased by Microsoft, they end up opening, like, either expanding, whether behind or opening up a second studio. And I think this is just really having like another pretty much location for them to be in two places at once. Being that State of Decay 3 could be like a bigger game, or maybe having like a studio set up to like keep like, I guess, live updates going on the existing game. So I tried to, like, at first I was reading like, oh, is this dude gonna still be headed to Undead Labs and start his own little multi-plat independent studio? So I honestly don't know, but after reading, it seemed like it's still related to Undead Labs and State of Decay. And they said they did this with the help of Microsoft. So
interesting.
Because in the actual update that they made, they actually stated that, them being in that city kind of limits them to talent.
Yeah, where are they located? The original?
They're in New Orleans, I believe. I believe they're in New Orleans.
No, isn't that where the new one is?
This is where the new academy. This
the
is the
new
thing
one's gonna go in New Orleans, right?
Right. So the thing
is, they're Seattle. I'm bugging. Ain't they Seattle? Why am I bugging?
I don't know.
I'm bugging on where they at. I don't know why.
I think that's one of the reasons you see people like Rockstar have so many outlets, is to be able to absorb so much talent around the world.
Yeah, this is crazy, man. So let me get okay, Soft. I heard you chirping.
I think it's this is not getting as much play as it needs to. They're allowing him to continue to stay as the head of Undead Labs while creating another studio, which if it's partnering with Microsoft, you can assume they're going to be focusing on Microsoft development, whatever that is, right? B, the academy is for them to be able to start bringing up homegrown talent, right? Whole things. So I think it's forward thinking of Microsoft to figure out a way to bring talent that they nurture themselves and bring into their ecosystem to their various 15 teams. So I think the fact that they're allowing Jeff to stay at the head of Undead is very telling that this is a straight up Microsoft initiative for strengthening all of their studios, I think.
Okay, no, fair enough. Forte, you want to get in on this real quick? Oh, Forte's in the bushes real quick. Oh,
no, I'm here.
Okay, there you go.
I'm here. No, I think overall it's definitely a really good thing. I think the one thing that people always try to give Microsoft flack for is not having developers that actually know what a good game is what people keep trying to say. Like they don't know, their developers aren't as good as Sony developers. And the biggest thing always people talk about is Sony developers talk and communicate amongst each other. That's how you seen with Kojima, they had Guerrilla Games over there helping out with that game, how the partnership between all those studios work. I think this academy is just another way for Microsoft to breed ingrown talent and be able to get more out of their own people versus having to outsource and go, be mercenary and take people from other developers and stuff like that. So if they do it that way, I think it's definitely a really good option for them to do, because they're basically just saying, hey, this is a place we're going to teach you to craft. And if you are already part of the game studios, this is a place you can hone those crafts to be even better than you are now. And it's all going to be underneath the Microsoft hood, if that's basically what I understand it to be.
Underneath the Microsoft hood. Jonathan B with the $5 super chat. Undead Labs is going to sign Cash Money Records to take over the 99 and the 2000.
Oh my God!
Oh my.
Jonathan B on deck, baby.
Yo, Jonathan B is on deck, man. You already know. Madz, you excited for Undead Labs trying to do what they doing, or where you at?
Yeah, I mean, like, why not? I mean, if that means that they'll keep growing and hiring new developers or train new developers, because that's what I'm hearing they want to do, right? I mean, that's good. I mean, that's good for them, and that's good for Microsoft. That's good for Xbox. I guess that's even good for the whole industry, because the more developers, and we know that the quality is everything. So I guess that properly trained developers will deliver hopefully quality games. But I was under the impression that they are actually building a new team, just like Playground Game is actually
hoping for. That's what I want.
I mean, that was my first impression.
It's both. It's a studio and a development academy, so it's both things.
Yeah, so I would imagine that so I mean, like, Playground Games basically just built another, physically building, right? It's not like they're renting. They are building a building for the new studio. So I was under the impression that that's the same thing with Undead Labs, that they are literally going to have another dedicated team to work on other projects and hiring and teaching other developers how to code or whatever, right? So I mean, that was my initial impression, but I don't know, but I didn't really look properly into that, right? But I would love another studio. I mean, some people actually run with 18 studios already, because they are counting actually teams, not the actual studios. So.
Fair enough. Fair enough. King, man, we've been rocking. We broke bread with the Lords of Undead. You know what I'm saying? So where you at with it, man?
I think that nothing but great things for that studio is warranted. The level of passion that they showed even before being acquired by Microsoft, and the level of dedication that they have to their base is incredible. A lot of times people try to say that Microsoft doesn't allow the studios to do the things that they need to do to be great, right? They purchase them, and they say that Microsoft is a stifling entity upon these developers, and they want to point to Bungie as Bungie needed to get away. So now you see them cultivating their development teams, and they're allowing their development teams to branch off in different ways to show that they have the support of the parent company and the gaming division as a whole. So in order to say, okay, Jeff, you're still at the head of the labs, but I understand that you want to start like an internship type of thing, bring people in and to see how talented they are, and we can have them grow here with us, and they could be put into the company through this way. I believe that's genius. Because you're allowing the man who tells you that I can multitask, I can bring in more talent, and we do need more talent in this area. And I would like to have somebody with fresh, new ideas, opposed to taking a retread from someplace else, coming in with their old ideas, new stuff. We're going to a new age, so you need new talent. And I think it's nothing but great things. And of course, it will take this studio that is this bold, this brash, and that's out there to do it first. I mean, and I'm not, maybe there's more studios that are about to do it, but you know, the fact that they're doing it first is fantastic. It wasn't
trying to be stupid. He said that Jeff Stray asked Phil, "What's a goon to a goblin?"
Wow, he's out of control.
He out of control with the New Orleans and the Cash Money bars right now. Stupid.
But wasn't they one of the first that was purchased by Microsoft?
They were the first. They were right. We had them on right when they won NPD and after the announcement. So it was real good, man. Shout out to those guys, Yepes, you know what I'm saying, and the whole crew, Brant and Fogg, you know, guys that were there and stuff like that. It was just a great team, great energy. So it's exciting to see what they have going on. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to move on. Last topic. Lord King and Lord Saw.
Yeah.
MLB The Show. One of the most
Welcome to the show.
Listen to Saul. One of the most highly anticipated baseball games. It seems to be going multi-plat. So Sony's best-selling baseball franchise, it's no longer an exclusive.
So the world ending confirmed.
You're funny. The Major League Baseball confirmed multi-year extension of its licensing deal with Sony. And the statement confirmed that MLB Show franchise will move to new platforms for the first time ever. MLB The Show 20 is already scheduled for a March 2020 release on PlayStation 4, but the series could make the jump to Xbox and Switch as early as 2021. So the internet was a bit of a tizzy with this one. A lot of people were upset, you know, from the Sony Nation as far as, you know, this stuff. So, I mean, King, you can set this off. You know what I'm saying? I know this was your topic. If you want.
Are part of a team. I can see Thor walking around the table with the baseball bat in his hands from that's the Untouchables, right? We are part of a team. And in this team, you all must play ball. And I will never forget Cog going up to Phil.
Oh, word! You stole my
at a FanFest event. And one of his greatest questions is, you know, you got this in, but what about baseball though?
Yeah, I did say that to him.
And he said, you know, the licensing and this stuff is complicated. This is how meticulous this individual is.
Oh my God.
Okay.
This ain't MLB. This is Phil.
Listen. You know what it is? When you send over a white paper to a company, like MLB, and you say, listen, we have X amount of systems sold, we have this amount of systems sold, we're generating this type of revenue, and this is what Game Pass is doing here, and will be fantastic to have your game in this ecosystem so you can generate this amount of money. This is the money that you're missing out playing ball with the one dudes. Don't think for 1 second that form did not go out. Don't think for 1 second that man did not tell him that we can do this for you. Don't think for 1 second that all of a sudden your girlfriend is having such a good time with you and she tells you, I need a Birkin bag. He looks right at you and says, I need a Birkin bag. Why you need a Birkin bag? Because somebody told me that Birkin bags are fun and I need it. If you're not ready to play ball with this Birkin bag, guess what's going to happen? Somebody else going to buy that Birkin bag for. Now Microsoft has got that Birkin bag ready to go. And you know what Sony had? Sony had no choice but to capitulate. And it's, I love the fact that the new guy in charge didn't tell her, go ahead and walk. You know why? Where she was going to walk? Right across the street to get that Birkin bag from Microsoft. So we know how it's going to go now, guys. We know what's happening now. And I could not wait to get on air to tell you guys that Microsoft has got that catcher's mitt, and inside that catcher's mitt, we throwing it inside the Birkin bag because the money is already sent, and we're playing baseball over here. Team ball, baby.
I'm done with you. Shout out, I missed up against King is over right now. Shout out to JD gave a $5 super chat, so we get AAA State of Decay 3, a second AAA level in the Xbox School to bring up devs in the Xbox way. Xbox is on fire. Hashtag long game, and Sony's in trouble. And then Victor Alistine, you want to get that solved?
Shout out to Victor Alistine with the $5 super chat. David Jafferty actually said he would buy a Series X over a PS5 just for Game Pass.
So, I'm gonna give it to you, man. Like, you know how far we go. Oh wow, hold on. One bad mother. $10 super chat. Happy holidays, ILP. We finally seen the results of Phil's promotion 2 years ago. Some couldn't see it, but that don't matter. Community over plastic. No special energy should be needed to rejoin. Salute.
The door's open.
The bad mother. You know what I'm saying? But so soft. Like, you know, the internet is really in a frenzy over this. You know what I'm saying? You know, me and you are MLB The Show hardcore fans. I mean, me and you would buy the PlayStation specifically for that, as well as a Vita version. Remember we used to do both versions? Like
crossplay.
I'm playing baseball with y'all too now.
Oh my God! Now you playing baseball.
Now he love baseball.
Now he love baseball.
I was gonna wear my Yankees hat today.
But I want to bring it to you because Sav, you know, you are. This is your series, man. This is your series. So where are you at with this announcement?
I'm happy all the way around. I'm gonna be honest. Shout out to everybody who has not ever had the opportunity to play the show for whatever reason. You know, if it's some hatred for Sony, I'm not as happy for you, but whatever. But honestly, this is great for baseball across the board. It's great for Sony. Sony's gonna have a lot of money in their pockets.
Yes, they're gonna cash out with this.
Cash out with this. It's gonna be a new development studio.
Oh yeah, no. The funny thing is, you know, we still don't know details of certain things. I don't know if Sony's going to outsource the ports or do it themselves. So there's still some details that have not been clarified. But
they're going to handle that. You going to put it on you.
But to be honest, MLB The Show, they've elevated this franchise year in and year out. Again, they have 9 months to make a new game every single year. Yeah. And although I fell off a little bit just because I feel like I haven't had enough time to play to see all the new stuff. So it just feels like the same old game over and over again. It's absolutely not.
Right. Do you remember when we were, what was it? Was it E3 or was it PAX?
It was PAX. So I was like, oh, I'm getting it this year.
Yeah, I'm
getting it this year.
Now, do you remember at that time, I'm sitting there with LordCognito, we're going over videos. We're doing a video and I'm training him on some other stuff. But we're looking at the show and I'm like, yo, did you check it out? And I said, hey, wouldn't it be great if it's on Xbox? You said, man, that'll be the day.
That'll be the day. Today is the day. So I think it's a great move all across the board. The fact that it is a sports franchise and pretty much the only sports franchise that is locked to one system is kind of weird. I know MLB saw that and they said, look, they went to Sony. They said, this is the deal. We love the game. We love you to keep making the game. These are the stipulations. If you say no, we're going to open it up to everybody. I don't know that EA is in the conversation. I know Microsoft isn't in the conversation.
Good. Question: who do you think they would have given if had Sony did not decline? Who do you think? What publisher do you think they would have given it to? The
oh, you know, EA was going to snatch that man fast.
But the thing is, the EA. Okay, the way it worked out now, right, is that only first parties could make it, right? EA has never made. They've never come out and said that they would love to do it.
But they've been.
I would love to get
MVP. Since MVP baseball, they've been trying to get back in the game. Remember?
So if EA was kind of knocking at the door, seeing what was going on, and then you think about it, if Sony would have walked away from it completely, then they have to figure out what happens to Sony San Diego. Like, what do you do? What do you do with Sony San Diego?
I'm reading the super chats, man. I'm reading the super chats.
I can't with you in that face. Continue.
JD Gamer is on to something, man.
Let's get him real quick. We get something. ILP panel, Red, King, Cognito, etc. Y'all gonna have to let all those Sony contract signing people back into the community. Don't hurt them. Sav, get the Victor Alistine for a second.
Shout out with $2 super chat. Isn't it possible Sony could do the 2 release 2?
I guess.
I thought about that. I thought about that, and I said, while this is a high possibility, because a lot of people keep saying, oh, they're fearful that Sony's going to do this, because they don't understand, how Sony can be petty, because they took an hour for that show and they removed the camera and the DRM out the box, and they lowered the price, or they had the price without the camera inside. So everything is possible. Do you think they're going to do it? I don't think so, but I truly, honestly believe that everything is possible, and we all are in for a great ride coming up.
Absolutely. Shout out to Lord Zero, the OG. $5 super chat. The kind of thing happening. More should have been expected. Gaming is rapidly breaking down barriers that have been around for a long time. That's good. Go ahead, son.
So hold on. I just want to point out. See you later, Brap. I want to say before Brap leaves, Brap's always been a supporter. Me and Brap might argue, we might fight, but Brap's still the family. So I want everyone in there to still put that throttle in there for Brap as he leaves.
Hold up. Brap's coming home, man. Brap's coming back home to console. Don't you worry. We're gonna get him back. Filled out. But I guess I'll finish up. I
think it's fantastic. I think the boot got put to the neck, and Sony said, you know what are we going to do with Sony San Diego if we just walk away, right? They've been making baseball for 20 years. So honestly, I'm glad they decided to continue making the game and to make it more money, and it's a great thing. So I don't know.
Did they have a choice, Sovereign? I mean, listen, I want anybody on this panel to really believe that Sony had a choice. Like, what was the choice? Like, what was the choice? It was either get down or lay down, and they choose to get down. They didn't want to lay in the dirt off of this, so they're already losing their franchises to PC. Listen, the stigma is stinking up the room. I want to know, at what point in time are y'all going to start ringing that bell? Because everybody keeps saying, but Sony might be coming back, and Sony's doing. They've been taking loss after loss after loss. At what point in time are you going to start calling a spade? Because had all this stuff happen to Microsoft, you guys would be screaming on top of the house. Microsoft is burning down.
Let's get to it, King.
I think Jim Ryan's doing a little dance.
That's my man over there, Jim Ryan.
Why that's your man?
The fanboys are taking the L.
Now let's get to it. And shout out to our good brother Kratos. This announcement went down, and King, me and you got a tweet from Brother Kratos. He was like, he bends the knee. Jim Ryan is messing it up. He was like, he's letting all our stuff go loose. Like right now, I got to bring this to King and Ren. Right now, because of this move, I've seen a lot of the Sony faithful very upset and not liking, exclusives either going to PC, and especially MLB, which was synonymous with Sony. So let me give it to Ren. I gotta ask Ren, because me and Ren get a chance to talk about this. Ren, what is your feeling when you see Sony faithful this upset by this move?
Well, when I see those fanboys lose their minds, I love it. It's entertainment for me. I don't normally.
Ren, I'm right there with you.
It's I don't tweet that much, but I be watching. You know what I mean? I'm in them bushes with my popcorn.
In the bushes.
When I think of Ren, man. When I think of Ren for now, I'm gonna think of that GIF with that chick coming around the bush.
That's me. I know it's. Look, this generation has shown, especially the end of this generation, that gaming's changing. You look at where 2013 started to where we are now. We have crossplay. We got crossplay with almost really starting to get in there. Mortal Kombat just added it. Modern Warfare has it. PUBG, right? It's going to be.
Ren, you say that crossplay. Are you saying that Sony is bending the knee?
Yeah,
Sony bending the knee. Your coded words, right? Your coded words is.
Let's get some bend the knees in the chat.
Oh my god,
that's right. Because
Sony bending the knee. We got to have some bend the knees in the chat. I'm sorry.
Right now.
Microsoft was doing crossplay with everybody that wanted to play ball. It was one team that didn't want to play ball, but all of a sudden now is a different head dude in charge, Mr. Ryan the Capitulator. Knees are being bent and cross plays is happening, hands is being shaken, and games are being given out. What is going on, man? Like,
it's you know why? Because he likes money. He likes money.
But I say it's like everybody was so sure Sony would never do crossplay with Microsoft because they have the user base. They got to leverage the user base. So what's happening? Obviously, developers really want crossplay, and Sony's going to provide it for them. Then there was Minecraft. Oh, Sony will never allow Xbox Live on PlayStation Network, and that happened. Now there might be some give and take there. Maybe Microsoft, offers them, because if you notice, Minecraft's not on PSVR, right? I would not be surprised if for the PSVR 2 announcement launch title, they suddenly have Minecraft. I think it was maybe like a tat for tat type thing, right? And as far as this MLB thing, I'm sure it has a lot to do with the contract negotiations. I'm sure it also has to do a lot with how expensive the license is. Right?
Yeah. So
Sony, like you said, if they're presented with the option of not agreeing to whatever MLB wants, and now they aren't making baseball, well, Sony San Diego is geared to making baseball games, so they have to shut them down. Now there's a lot of speculation about why this happened, right? That MLB said we want it to be multi-platform. If you don't agree with this, we'll take the license elsewhere. Maybe that's true. There's also the possibility that the license became so expensive that Sony had no choice but to sell the game to more people to recoup their money.
Right.
The idea, though, that I don't necessarily agree with is that EA was just sitting there in the wings, just waiting to take up a baseball license, and they haven't made a baseball game in God knows how long, right? And we know EA doesn't really like to make games for sports that they don't control the exclusive license for.
Right.
Right? Madden is dominant because they bought the exclusive license. NBA Live, and I'm sorry, Smooth, sucks balls.
It does not.
Accordingly to it because they couldn't force out their competitor, right?
Yeah.
And they're not even putting one out this year because why bother? Nobody buys NBA Live.
Smooth is not feeling you right now.
I know Smooth isn't. That's perfectly fine. And then you look at MLB, they never really did the exclusive thing because while MLB The Show was going on, you also had 2K. They had the baseball license. So it wasn't like they were really interested in exclusive stuff. They just wanted to take more money from anybody that wanted the license. So I'm not really sure EA was like, we need to get back into baseball. That doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. But
gotta get this super chat real quick
before Sony. Where's the super chat? Hold on a second. Shout out to JD Gamer with the $5.
No. We got one right before that. That's
okay. El Emenopio.
Emenopio.
Did we get the X-Men one above that?
Believe so.
We got Victor Alistine. We need an X-Men game now for Series X. Legendary show, guys. Shout out to the All-Star panel. Shout out Victor Alistine. Then followed by El Emenopio with the $5 chat. Good afternoon to the Lords. Phil Dominus Maximus earning that paycheck. Great job on that surprise reveal.
Yes sir.
And
the last one, JD
Gamer with the $5 super chat. Somebody told Microsoft to be the behemoth that they are right before they signed a Sony contract. I think they'll be begging to rejoin along with others.
There it is.
Interesting. Yeah. So you don't feel, Rand, you don't feel EA was lurking in the ring. You just feel contractually it was up with MLB. MLB went back to Sony and said, look, if we're going to redo this thing, you're gonna have to spread this to multi-plat, and then Sony capitulated in that regard.
Yeah, because I don't think if EA really wanted a license to make a baseball game, MLB be like, okay, here you go. I don't think EA wants. Baseball games outside of show don't sell well. I mean, the 2K
the United States really don't sell well.
Period. And then even the 2K games, they stopped making the 2K baseball games because those sold like trash, and those were on all the consoles. The Sony ones still outsold them. So it's like I don't see EA being like, oh, we really need to get back into baseball. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
No,
it doesn't make sense. But the thing is about the license now. The last time that Sony re-upped the license, right? They did it so as to push out EA completely, and then have the stipulation where only first parties could make it, right? So Nintendo could make an in-house baseball. Xbox could make an in-house baseball. That was the stipulation this time around. No third party.
Okay, so but that was only because of 2K not wanting to bid on the license. That was the renegotiation that Sony put into place once 2K pulled out. Because 2K, like Rand said, it got to the point where 2K didn't want to make it anymore because MLB was just outselling it on one platform. So they pulled out completely and turned over all of their publishing rights to baseball to Sony. And Sony restructured the deal and said that only first parties going forward can make a baseball game.
It's like when they restructured the deal, Sony had the leverage, right? And now in this new restructuring, Sony has no leverage.
White people went out.
No, I still think they got the leverage, man.
I think this is the thing.
I don't have this mindset that Sony was forced to do this. I think that they chose to do this.
If MLB comes to Sony and tells them, "Look, we need this multi-plat," if Sony says no, MLB walks away.
This is the thing.
I don't think it went like that. I think it went like, okay, look, I think Sony realized, first off, I think they did increase the licensing. I don't think Sony wanted to pay the higher licensing, and they gave them this other option. I don't think Sony's willingly just going to give up an exclusive like that.
Yep,
I think that they did it for financial gain because they realized that, first off, it is a baseball game. And
who did that, though?
Like you said, I think
who did that though?
It stores now, y'all. It stores now. Make sure y'all get that.
Well, Nintendo and Microsoft had to have also been at the table.
Yes.
In negotiations as well, because as soon as it was finalized, they knew about it. And so Nintendo and Microsoft also must have been well aware of what was going on.
You know what Phil said, right?
Phil's like, thank God these fanboys can stop asking me about a baseball game.
Because that was me. That was me.
He picked up the phone and said, "Ryan, good job."
Because the thing is, Microsoft bought a high heat license, and then they released that one game. I forgot what it was called. That it wasn't high.
Get that super chat real quick before it fall away.
Yeah. Is it JD? Oh yeah. Shout out to XSX equals Power Halo Infinity Hellblade 2 equals Games Undead Labs going AAA and teaching the Microsoft ways. MLB going multi-plat. Xbox is on fire. All hail Phil Dominus.
Jesus, Cognito, podcast is over 3 hours long. What you doing to me, bro?
Let's get the
popping. I'm trying to
Disney real quick, and then let's start to wrap it. I was looking at 2 hours. I said 2 o'clock.
To be fair, this is the most information that's happened in 1 week in a long time.
Yeah. That is true.
No doubt. Shout out to Dizzy.
with the $5 super chat, all this boring baseball talk. Where's our NCAA football, real man's game? When they start
boring baseball talk, you should have listened in the beginning when it was nothing about UFC. Jesus Christ.
Thus you were invited after, man.
Yeah, no.
Rand, I used to fight with them, and I just gave up because I was outnumbered. I was like, "We'll let them do their thing."
Is this the Iron Lords or is this an MMA show? Like, what's going on here?
You know what it is? We multifaceted, baby.
That's true.
Get to the music track. Hello.
Continue. I believe it was Forte. I forgot who was speaking there. We got to wrap up, man. But who was finishing up with the MLB situation? But I mean, look. At the end of the day, it's one of those things that a lot of people were upset. But again, Sony's in the business of making money. They cannot lose this license.
That's right, Brian.
They cannot.
Yeah.
My man Ryan, the capitulator.
You gotta stop going.
Yeah, but like you said, I don't think overall they were forced to do anything. I just think it was mostly like Rand just said. It came down to dollars and cents, and Sony was like, "Hold up." Before we didn't have to pay extra money because the rights just got turned over to us from a third party. Right. Now you're asking us to flip the whole bill, and they're like, "We don't sell that many goddamn baseball games." Yeah. And the fact that people look at that 100 million and say, "Man, why can't baseball sell more?" Well, you got to think that 100 million isn't baseball fans,
right?
Only a sub portion of that is in America. And when you cut out the other side of that, which is the Xbox brand, which predominantly is based in America, that's the fans that want to play the game more than anything. So I think MLB was like, hey, you can flip the bill, because I think they love their baseball game, because that's the one thing I will say. Their baseball game is above all. There is nothing better.
That's a
than
superior game.
It's a superior experience.
Yes.
So I think they were like, we don't want to lose it because we love the baseball game you make. But if you want to keep the rights, make it other places or pay for the rights for yourself up front.
Right.
And they just couldn't do that.
Don't you think the game would be played more if it had like Game Pass, something like that?
Hey.
Like, because I would play baseball in Game Pass. Actually,
King,
can you imagine them putting a game like that in Game Pass before they make their own Game Pass on PlayStation?
King, what do you think? What do you think about MLB The Show 2021 looking best on Series X?
Oh yeah,
that's where I wonder, do they?
There ain't gonna be no parody there.
I don't think they're gonna do that. Like, I really don't. Like, because at the end of the day, Sony's still making this. They'll be like, look, give them the copy. Don't give them all the bells and whistles.
They can't control the
but it's still their first party. They can. Dude, if a third party can control that, a first party definitely can. I'm willing to put. I'm willing to do a Foundry. Okay,
Digital Foundry will bury them.
It doesn't matter. Like, third parties do that all the time. They don't take
was nerfing stuff.
It's not that they nerfed stuff. They were taking the Pro and porting it straight to the X and not taking advantage of
about
the X.
Bad porting.
Oh, but this generation, we're gonna
they're
be
literally
platform though.
But we're gonna be lead platform.
No, listen, I'm calling it right here, right now. If anybody want the needs, they can take them. This is gonna be lead platform.
Hold on. What you mean by lead platform?
Microsoft is gonna lead this generation going forward. Period, bar none. Phil is not backing down from nobody. He when he stepped on that stage, if you didn't see,
does anyone want to bend the knee with him on that?
If you didn't see the declaration in everybody's face when the world was watching, he said, you know what? Not everybody gonna watch EXO, but them Sony dudes is gonna be here. He came out right here for this stage for these people to let these people know right now is the time I'm drawing the line in the sand. Power and speed. And we gonna be the lead platform. You gonna develop for us first. You gonna trickle it backwards for them dudes.
I'm done.
Right here is where we gonna start it. What?
Anyway, I'll get my last point off before we go. Listen, good thing, more people get to play the game. It's the best baseball game, bar none. There is no simulation baseball, even close. MLB The Show is the GOAT as far as I'm concerned, as far as baseball is concerned. Great to see it. And we forgetting about the elephant in the room, Solve.
RBI baseball.
Nah. Because on God in them, it's coming to the Switch too.
Yeah.
And that is the platform that many have not experienced that baseball.
I think we have went over our time.
Now the time limit is over. We talking about now the time limit is over.
They talk about the clay.
I agree. Let's end the podcast now with none of this.
To the Nintendo Switch for also getting the game. We know they can do it. The damn Vita was doing MLB The Show. So
with no cutscenes.
No matter how much they scale back,
just running around the screen.
It's gonna have the textures of an N64 game.
Switch gang, don't you worry, because like I said, the Vita was able to do it. You're better than the 360. You're better than the PS3. So we shall see. Not too.
Y'all gonna get the Vita version. Shout out to Switch getting that old version.
Yo, you stupid. Anyway, let's end this, Jay, because we gotta get up out of here. New ILP poll this week with the recent reveal announcement of the Xbox Series X at the Game Awards. Do you think this was the right move by Microsoft to reveal the console details now ahead of the PS5? The choices are A, too soon, gives Sony PS5 ample time to counter. B, perfect timing, excited the base and showed renewed confidence in the brand. Or C, I don't care, it still looked like the sex box to me. Those are the choices. Please rock the vote when it goes up on Twitter. Shout out to the amazing all-star special guest panel, Randall Thor, Madz Gaming, KidSmove, Gaming Forte, Anchorman, Lord Rand. Where can the fine people find you and what you have going on, sir?
Probably definitely not on ILP after this 3-hour podcast.
I warned him.
Yeah, you did. Thanks for having me on. I had a blast, even though it was 3 hours long. But yeah, I love the excitement. I love that everyone's kind of getting like more and more back into what Xbox is doing. You know, it's been a rough couple years, and yeah, man, I'm so excited, man. You can check me out. You know, obviously my YouTube channel, Randall Thor 19. Search it out there.
You call him Insider Randolph Thor.
Right. No. I am not an insider. I'm just saying. Sometimes people tell me stuff. I don't claim to be an insider. So
no doubt, man. What about that glorious Xbox 2 podcast with Windows Central on? Just where can they find that, man?
Thursdays normally depends on when me and Jez can do it on my YouTube channel, as well as we put it up on iTunes and Spotify, so people can listen that way as well.
Salute to Randall Thor, one of the balanced voices in the Xbox community. Always a pleasure to do podcasts with him. And, dude, we always welcome you in the realm anytime, man. Thank you for rocking out 3 hours, surviving MMA talk and all the suffering you went through to get to the glorious. I know. I gotta throw sauce on it. Okay. You know what I'm saying? But now, salute to him, man, because, again, we were talking, and this was fun to have him on. I haven't been on in a while, so salute to Rand. Real quick, super chats, Lord Zero ILP. Just wanted to wish everyone a happy holiday before the show wrapped up. To Rand's point, we are watching gaming evolve before our eyes. It's exciting. And who can get JD Gamer? What you call it? Yeah, get JD Games.
He speaks the truth. Devs develop games for the most powerful platform first, then IEXSX, then all the rest of the platforms. Xbox is the best box. Hashtag.
No doubt. Shout out to Dev Games. Pause my game for this podcast 100. No doubt. Lord KidSmove. In the realm, I had to try to get in that VIP. I knew it was a packed house, but I had to get some of my mans. I knew he wanted this moment. KidSmove, what is going on? Where can people find you? What you got going on?
Oh, man. Find me on Twitter. I've been getting people mad all week. Twitter at KidSmove, Mixer.com/IamKidSmove, and of course, YouTube /KidSmove. So, yeah, man. Thanks for having me. It's been great. I couldn't wait to this episode, whether I was in there or watching. But yeah, man, good show.
I noticed how you went straight to Cognito for that invite. He didn't ask me.
It was tough. It was but there was no way. I'm like, I cannot.
I was low key hoping he wouldn't because I knew we were full, and
that's why I knew it was gonna be a long cast, and I just said, you know what? This is one of the moments where you just say screw it. You know what I'm saying? You got to have your.
It's a big moment, man.
It's a big moment. It's a big moment. So I had to have Kid.
I deem this the turning point. I deem this. Actually, I want you to put that in the title somewhere. Turning point.
No, I had to have the best bot, man. He been riding the front line, so he deserved this moment. Always a brother to the ILP. So salute KidSmove in the building, coming through. Lord Madz Gaming with the technical breakdown, getting attacked on Twitter for purporting technical news.
I went to war for like 5-6 hours over this man yesterday.
How dare Madz give us technical breakdowns and news? Who is he? Who made him the authority?
He didn't ever play PlayStation game. His tech don't matter.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I mean, listen. It must be this MLB. Announcement that got Stumble mad. I mean, honestly, I just learned to ignore them, and I don't even speak with them. I don't reply to them because that just gets things worse, right? But hey, but he actually said that I've got a good channel, so
so you got some credit on your channel. That's good.
Yeah. So yeah. Hey guys, thanks a lot for having me. Great show as always. Very good news coming. From the Xbox camp and stuff, right? Check me out on YouTube. Madz Gaming.
Where else can they check him out? Where else can they check you out? What website?
Yeah, Lords of Gaming. I've
selfish plug.
Yeah.
You can't do a selfish plug on your own platform. That don't make sense.
Listen, we trying to eat. We got another dude joining the realm.
Shout out to Lord Titus Rice joining the realm. Salute, brother. Oh, that is what's up.
That's
Welcome to the realm. Get them emojis popping. We got a lot of stuff and content for you, man. But yeah, salute to Madz. And hopefully, Madz, this 2020 will be the year we get you for 2 consoles at E3. Maybe that happens, man.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, it's going to be a great year. So yeah, thanks a lot for having me again. Great show.
Appreciate it, brother. Lord Gaming Forte, the retail king, breaking it down, helping us be unconfused in the round.
I don't know if you should call him Retail King. King might feel away about that. You might have to be Retail Lord.
Where can the people find you, man? And thanks for pulling up, man, last minute.
Oh, no, man, no problem. The Lord's call, I come, man. Always love being on the show, especially when a stellar round table packed as it is today. But it's Gaming Forte on YouTube and Twitter. And, man, the biggest thing I always want to communicate is I've never seen so much positivity in 1 week from a group of people because it's been a long time coming for people that just love playing on Xbox and everything. And like I always tell people, don't be a slave to just one theme, because when you love everything, you're never disappointed. You're never disappointed when you love everything.
Wow, Zero. We got another one. There we
Zero,
go.
the OG. Salute, brother. Thank you for joining the realm.
Thank you for joining the realm, brother.
No doubt.
Yes, sir.
No doubt.
No, but yeah, that's mostly it. Just hit me up on those platforms. As I was in the stream with LordCognito, and I don't remember half the stuff that was going on because on top of me wanting to look at everybody else's reactions and stuff, I was actually making a video for the first time in like almost a month because I was that excited. Microsoft finally gave
What's
me
funny is we was like the sex was too much for him.
I was like, no, I gotta go, man.
It was too much sex box for him.
Yeah, but it was amazing show, guys. I don't mind 3 hours because I'm not doing anything but playing Destiny as I do.
No,
actually, for the first time in a while, I didn't play a game during the podcast.
No, that's salute you for being focused. That's the co-host. Thank you.
And you sounded so focused. Thank you.
No doubt. Salute the Lord Anchor, man. Definitely pulled up in the realm, also helping us out. Lord Addict, man, you waited for this day. It has come. Where can the fine people find you? What you got going on, sir?
You can find me on Twitter at Lord Addict ILP. I'm pretty sure that's my tag these days. I don't know. I've been changing it because of all this hate going on. You can find me in these Twitter streets slaying these PlayStation fanboys.
Oh, Lord.
You can deem me the brat killer as well.
Oh my Lord, Brap alone.
Look, man, I can do that to Brap because that's my brother in crime.
That's our brother. Shout out to Basement
So
Radio
definitely. First off, I want to appreciate all the love we got today on the chat. A lot of you came through. A lot of you stayed consistently. Everyone that subscribe to the membership, I appreciate it. Everyone that super chat, you have no idea how much that helps the podcast. Until next week, I'm pretty sure we're doing a podcast next week. I don't know what to come up with that.
Last one of 11 a.m. too.
So definitely appreciate everyone coming through.
Lord Sovereign, the MLB Master. What's going on, man? Where can people find you? What's going on?
First off, shout out to everybody in the panel. This was insane today. Just more people just popping in. That's amazing, man. Like Forte said, there's so much positivity around this. It is a long time coming, so it's fantastic. And it just, man, like just what's coming up for me? Nothing. Work. I got to go to work.
Me too.
I know.
Before I do that, let me break my hand off patting myself on the back for a moment.
We did the crown your Lord. You won again?
Crown your Lord.
I forgot all about that.
Sekiro. He won with Sekiro.
Lord Sovereign prevails once again, defending his title.
Wait, who was second place with the predictions of the Game Awards?
Second place went to LordCognito with 8 correct answers.
And how many you had? I
had 9.
Oh, I gotta recount. We gotta see this. I don't know.
Running up career in a 2-way tie was Lord
again,
Addict.
Yeah, Death Stranding, corporate
now,
chilling.
I have to say this though. ILP generally, we in the bushes.
Yes.
Yeah.
We went donut. 0 on 8 categories.
Wow.
0. So we're
You know why? Because I didn't play half those games, so I don't really care.
You just went with Death Stranding everything.
That's right.
And what's funny is
he said he was on a winning
team. At the show, and they did me dirty. They pulled up at the show. Jeff Keighley.
So
did me dirty.
are you saying because it wasn't fixed, you lost?
Yes, man. I was in for the fixing. What's up? I was there for the fixing.
Yeah, man. Everybody was surprised.
That's all the bag was.
Continue, so you crowd. This is your victory lap. Continue.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, you guys catch me on Twitter, LordSob ILP, BX Sovereign at Xbox Live and PSN. I'm trying to finish Plague Tale this week.
No doubt, you already know. Lord King, Your Highness. They were waiting all week. All I heard was tweets. We need to hear from King this week. What is going on? Where can the five people find you?
I want to thank everybody that showed up on the panel today. Didn't expect this, to be honest with you. I get a lot of questions in the morning because I'm really dead by the time I get in the morning. And how the hell you have energy to do a show?
It's
every
rough.
last person that was in that chat, every last person that got up, every last person that stood here and viewed, your level of participation was not minimized at all. If you gave in the chat, if you joined, you were here, you were present. I'm going to be here and I'm going to be present for you as well.
Yes,
so
sir.
I salute every last person that got up, and this is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. It blows my mind every week, every day. Even when I tweet, it just blows my mind. Like I said, I want to give a shout out to the panel. KidSmove, 100%. Yo, you have definitely been there rocking 100%. From the second you even had that conversation about the, like finances on some other stuff, it has been completely love. I love your energy. I love everything about everything you do. Gaming Forte, my man, the king of retail. Your insight on stuff is so amazing. I just marvel at stuff that you know and how you can quell a room from the fear mongering with people going inside stores and being ignorant, knowing that you're holding the front line, telling these people what they need to do and how they need to do it. And Madz, your level of technical know-how is amazing. I read your articles, and for ignoramus like myself, reading your stuff, you allow me to see through your eyes and learn. And I appreciate it. I appreciate all your hard work that you do. Rand Outdoor, you are part of a trifecta that I watch on YouTube, that I consume my stuff daily. And you have been on fire, brother. You have literally been on fire. And I think most of the time I'm like, sometimes you get so on fire that I got to pull out my phone because I'm watching it on my Xbox and it doesn't have a part where I can go into the chat and leave a message. I pull out my phone and I go and watch the video again while I'm leaving a message at the bottom of the screen telling you the king approves this. This is fantastic stuff.
Yeah.
I really love your work, and I do appreciate all the hard work. Everybody here, it was a fantastic day.
Yes, sir.
King of the Statues, you can catch that every week. This week we had the Hobgoblin up. The companion statue in the background is Ghost Rider. Those are the 1/10 scale. Those are the budget line. You can get them a little bit cheaper, 125. This week coming up, I'm gonna do something special for you guys. I got some books in from Sideshow. It's an anatomy of the metahuman. Really thick book. Pause. Also, we have the DC comics, Supervillain, the encyclopedia. We're gonna go through that, and I have a box over there full with toys that you guys were asking me. Do I collect toys? Well, if you can see a little bit of stuff here. These are the stuff that's supposed to either go to eBay. I just can't even sell them. I'm not gonna even do it. I'm putting them upstairs because I can't bring myself to sell something for monetary gain. I don't even know money. So,
well, are they trying to say your statues are toys?
Well, sometimes when ignoramus
those toys cost more than my house.
when ignoramus say stuff like, "Oh, that toy, like the Juggernaut and stuff like that," that's $1,600. I don't care what you think.
There you go, talking.
But I do got some actual toys that I'm going to show, 1/6 line scale toys that we're going to talk about, because
we got that Dragon Ball, that Ultra Instinct toy, right? That got to come now. You already started. You opened it up. You got to get that Ultra Instinct statue.
Yeah,
all right,
But I didn't drag this out long enough. Y'all can catch me on Twitter. And also, I got Combat Talk coming up this week. So see y'all guys soon.
You already know. And of course, LordCognito. Yo, everybody salute, man. Chat was absolutely fantastic. I don't even know what to say, man. Definitely blown away. The fact that you even care about what us ignoramuses want to say about games sometimes is kind of mind blowing. But salute to the panel, man. Again, Lord Rand for answering the call. Always a pleasure to have him in the round. Lord Madz, of course. KidSmove, the legendary, the best spot, and of course, Gaming Forte and the Anchor Man. This was tremendous. Yeah, man, can't forget the Anchor Man. He's a day one, man. Guy, he's responsible for a lot of us talking to each other. You know what I'm saying, over the years. So salute that. The chat was fantastic. You already know. The last word is up with Ebontis. Please check that out. And that's all I got, man. Everybody enjoy your Sunday. Thanks for rocking with us with technical difficulties. Until next Sunday is the last 11 a.m. of 2019-2020.
I might show up at 1 next
till
week.
1 p.m. We no longer bend the knee to football.
It might be one. It might start 1 p.m. next week for me. I might come in at 1.
You know what I'm saying? Because if your team is eliminated, we don't care. We still going. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Everybody, enjoy your Sunday. We out of here.